Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Matt and Joe here from Modern Plumbing. How you guys doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
Deer in the headlights, man. You scared him. Or I scared him. You know what? Full transparency. I scared them. I cannot tell a lie. Before the show, I scared them. I came in real hot. I was talking about Squid Game.
Then Sam asked him if they ever found a squid in the toilet.
Let's
At
start
least
there.
that's on topic.
Let's start there. No,
That's unacceptable.
why don't you start by telling who our guests are, and then we'll start with Sam's first question about squid toilets.
Hey, it's Matt and Joe from Modern Plumbing.
For Modern Plumbing.
So, first, before we talk plumbing, because I've got a lot of theories here, let's talk the Dolphins game last night.
I knew he was going to do this. I knew he was going to do this.
My
Guys,
question better than this complaint that you're about to
I
have.
don't know. Dolphins in the toilet, some would say. Ties in.
Because I guess this is a lesson for everybody out there about live betting.
Were you live betting?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
And what happened was...
Were either of our plumbing guests, were you either of you live betting?
No, I
No.
heard one of them is a
Do
Jets
either
fan.
of you care
Jets
about
fan.
the Dolphins?
Oh, we have a Jets fan? I'm so sorry.
He hates the Dolphins.
Okay.
Born and bred here.
Yeah, he's
that's
supposed
right. Well,
to.
I hate the Jets.
Oh my God, this is
You
going
screamed that
horrible.
out there?
This is not going well.
They are a sponsor.
Yeah, this is not going well.
Well, that's beyond
Yeah.
sponsorship. That's football rivalry.
Is this what people wanted? They're like, get your sponsors in there and freak them out.
Anyway, so I decided to stay away from like pre-betting this game because I was like, man, 14 points is a lot. Then it got to 14 and a half. Then I wanted to bet the Titans, but then I'm like, I'm trying to have fun in my life, and I told myself, I'm like, if you don't have to, don't bet against the team you want to win because I'm
agree.
excited about the Dolphins possibly getting the number one seed. And
who wouldn't?
You know, I was like, wow, they got at-home playoffs the whole year. They get to get in the Super Bowl. I'll watch the Dolphins in the Super Bowl for the first time. Like, even though they're definitely going to lose against the 49ers.
Where's your question?
So I decide to live bet the game when it starts, right? So it goes off to a rough start.
It was a rough start.
Although, Dolphins did get an interception, a pick six, but then it's just a slow game, and the Titans are in it, and so the live betting line starts going down, right? So I tell myself, well, when it gets below 10, I'm betting 9.5 because I think the Dolphins, it's a slow start, but they'll get to it. Anyway, it gets to 9.5, I bet that. And then all of a sudden it gets to 6.5, I bet that. And then I'm like, oh, that looks good or whatever. Then Titans go up by 3 going into halftime. It's like 10-7. And the line's -4.5, and I'm like, all right, I start betting that. I'm like, I hit that.
Do you have a
2 or 3
phrase you
times.
say when this happens? So you're like, it's a go time, baby. A boom, like a boom shakalaka. Do you guys have a phrase?
Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes the dynamite. I like that. You're on the board.
So
You're
now
on the board.
I'm already in it for too much.
Okay.
Like it's against what I've learned.
Sure.
And like I've got way too many units on the Dolphins now.
Okay.
So then we get back from halftime.
Are you concerned at all?
Tyreek Hill, him limping around. He hurt his ankle. But after
He's very important, the Tyreek Hill. It's amazing when you don't have a Tyreek.
After halftime, Tyreek Hill's back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're back, baby.
Yeah.
And then still it's slow, and then we're getting into it, and then it doesn't look good, right? But I think I bet the Dolphins one more time. So then I started
I
betting.
thought you said you were going to stop when it got to
Then I started freaking out because I'm like, well, the Dolphins aren't going to cover any of these. So I started betting the other side. I started taking Tennessee plus 3.5,
So you're chasing
Tennessee
it.
plus 4,
Yeah.
right? Like trying to bet my money back. So I'm losing track of how much money I even have on the game at this point
you're
because I
spiraling
got 15 live
you're
bets.
spiraling out of control.
So then the muff punt happens, and so Tennessee muffs a punt, and the Dolphins get it on the 10-yard line. They score a touchdown. They're up by 7. So then the next drive from Tennessee, Derrick Henry fumbles the ball.
He did indeed.
Dolphins get that, and then their Dolphins are up by 14, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna cover the original spread,
Yeah,
and
there
I'm
you
like,
go.
oh, the gambling gods are with me tonight.
Yeah.
And then
What do you do at that point? That's boom shakalaka.
Well, I started trying to go back and figure out how much money I've bet, and I can't figure it out.
Yeah. You're like an old man that like
By
you
the way-
ever see that where your grandpa does a scratch off ticket and then he has to like
yeah.
lean it way back so he can see what he won.
Yeah. I definitely can't see this.
But you know it was better. You know it's so positive. But you got to, once the dust settles, right? You'll figure it all out.
Yeah. Then I'm watching the Titans and Will Levis just slowly go down the field, long bomb, whatever. They scored a touchdown. I'm like, this is not good. And then I'm like, they're gonna go for 2. They get the 2, and they're down by 6. And then I'm like, but the Dolphins they'll come back. Tyreek Hill's not on the field anymore. They a quick 3 and out, kick the ball back to Tennessee, go down the field. Tennessee wins the game. And I'm like, why did I even watch this game? Like, I didn't even need to.
But that would be saying that it's only fun if you win, right? You're supposed to.
The ride wasn't even fun.
You're supposed to get something out of the up and down, right?
Stress and
it's
anxiety.
it's like a video game. If you look at it like a video game, if I'm playing, like I've abandoned Starfield, that's done. So now I'm on that Baldur's Gate. Have you guys heard of that video game, Baldur's Gate? Mm-hmm. There are so many naked people in that video game. Holy smokes. Like the first scene when you're making your guy. I made him a gnome because I'm little, and first scene, he's naked. It's you naked. You have to decide how you want to look naked.
So, anyway.
Just as interesting as betting.
It is. Just as
Did you have a question for the sponsors that are sitting here about football?
Well, I had to get that out, Sam. It was like a sneeze.
Now
we're getting into plumbing.
Now he's ready to go.
Let's talk flappers. Because I have a big problem with flappers.
What year is this?
Hold on. Well, that's what I wanted to ask you.
Get
So, the internal components of a toilet seems like they haven't changed for a long time.
It's like scuba diving equipment. It's like all pretty normal stuff.
Yeah. It's like since the 50s,
Same
it's been
dial.
the same.
Yeah,
Right?
you're going to have it. My grandma, you just replace the hoses, they dry rot, but everything else is tried and true.
Yeah. It's just a tank, and then you have to somehow let the water from the top tank.
Oh my God, there's so many similarities between this and scuba diving.
And then the gravity forces the water down to the bottom bowl, which forces the doo-doo down the hole.
Yeah.
They just glanced at each other like this guy has no effing idea what he's talking
Well,
about.
I accurately described how a toilet works, right?
I mean, that's basically
Yeah.
it.
All right. So thank you.
I love that people explain the inside of toilets like it's a continuum transfunctioner, right? It's just an overcomplicated piece of equipment, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's been the same for a long time, right? All right. So then that leads me to my next question is like, so for years, I've been dealing with the flapper, which is like the trap door for the water that lets the water down to the doo-doo. And so that flapper eventually, after, I don't know, 8 months to 2 years or whatever, it starts degrading and then letting little bits of water down the hole.
Yeah. It gets dusty, though. It gets like a white film on it first.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, what is that?
Like all pieces of red or black flapper plastic always get a white film on them, and if you run your finger across it, it'll what is
it's
that?
deterioration.
This thing off-gassing underwater? What's happening to it?
And so then it starts running, right? And then my wife starts crowing at me to change the flapper because our water bill was
Tell her to change the
$180.
flapper. I would argue you spend more time on the toilet than I do, so change the flapper.
No, that's that's deemed my job.
Okay.
I am the handyman in the house. Even though I'm not good at all or handy. I don't know.
You're just a man.
You have the worst hands of any man I know.
Yeah, you do have bad hands.
Yeah. And compared to like the 1950s, not so much of a man at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
2023 man.
I'm like a soft peepee dog that just sits on a couch watching Wheel of Fortune.
And I promise, guys, I have a question here. So then Crystal starts telling me, and then and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna change it in a minute here, tomorrow, whatever. I gotta get the flapper from Home Depot, and so
I always buy the wrong kit. I always buy the one that's got too many parts, so I just get the one piece I need, and then I have a myriad of parts I punt into the trash.
So
I don't think I'm doing it right.
What happens is there's a 3 to 6 month period of time where the toilet will be like the crow alarm, where every time it makes the running sound, where it's like, and then I hear Crystal, I thought you were going to change the flapper.
Yeah.
I've asked you many times to do this. And then I'm like, yeah. I forget.
I go one step further that makes it worse. I actually buy the parts and then I just set them next to the toilet. And I'm sure there are a lot of gentlemen out there listening to me right now, and they do the same thing I do. You buy the parts, even go as far as get the tools and bring them all upstairs and just set them next to the toilet and be like, Job is done. I'll see you tomorrow, Flapper. I'll see you tomorrow.
So my question is, guys, do they make like a 100-year flapper?
Oh,
Like some like
indestructible
yeah,
flapper.
Yeah. Like there was this urban legend that someone invented a tire that
Non-puncturing tire,
yeah.
unpuncturable.
or like an infinity tire that didn't like degrade or whatever, lasted like
Infiniflapper. That's
and,
what we need.
And then Big Tire had him assassinated. Remember?
Why can't we just
It's
make
the
it?
same here. Big flapper.
No, okay, that's right. Okay.
Sounds like we're on to something here, though.
Yes, that's
So-
what I am always onto something.
And I'm always on the flappers.
And so, is there a long-lasting
Like a
flapper?
prison toilet. You know, like the big metal. I've always wanted a prison
yeah.
toilet because
Do
I
they
feel
have a
like it'd be
flapper in
super
there?
durable. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's no flapper in that, is there?
No, it
that
can't
thing
be.
just runs all the time.
Because they'll get that flapper turned into a knife.
That's true.
Like,
You
no,
ever been
prison.
stuff it down your throat.
I know prison. And it's all from Shawshank Redemption.
So, is there some sort of high-grade, undeteriorating
Like Matt
flapper?
Mormon's Obsessed Garage. He's a YouTuber, you know, like super popular
Yeah.
guy. He would buy like the best flapper money
Yeah.
could buy, like a $70 flapper.
Yeah, but if you go to Home Depot, there's just the one
Red
red
or black,
and black.
red or black.
Yeah. I don't know what brand it is, but there's like that. There's just one, maybe two options, but I think there's a green one.
I've never seen the green one.
That's for
This
the
man
tree
lies.
huggers.
Yeah.
I'm buying the straight Wuhan red. I'm sorry. Anyway, so is there a better flapper?
It's more of a bigger problem, right? And
Okay.
people don't think about it. The flapper is, you're getting what you're getting, right? The flapper's not going to change the way they build them. It's the water. It's what people put inside their tanks, right? You put those blue tablets that eat apart the rubber over time. Your water has a lot of contaminants in it. The hard water starts eating all that stuff up. And unfortunately, over time, your flappers start failing. And you get
guarding
that
water,
sound.
If
So-
we had that in our house, it'd help the system.
Yeah, so it's the water that's deteriorating all the components. Is there?
Yeah.
And there's no. And let's talk back to toilets. Are there any other designed toilets that are something different that we all know of?
So they make a pressure-assisted toilet, right? And
for big
there,
people.
There's the one. There's the for big.
Hold on,
I was
like,
being
you
polite.
add
I've
pressure-
I've tried to sell my wife on this one, but it's a no-go because it sounds like an airplane toilet when you flush it. So if you have a midnight, debacle, you're gonna wake up the
Midnight
whole
debacle.
house, right?
You are a poet. You are a poet, man.
Hold on, how does it
A
work?
midnight debacle.
So there's a tank inside of the tank that creates pressure.
What?
So
It's
when
got
you-
nitrous.
yeah.
This thing's got
So-
NOS, dude.
so
Tank
it-
septic.
It builds up air pressure inside the tank, and when you flush it, it sounds like an airplane toilet. So that'll take down a puppy if you need it.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah. Oh my God, Sam, loan me your dog.
No.
So
We'll flush my dog Dansby. Put a helmet on him.
is the air or pressure pushing down or sucking down? Like, how does it work?
It's pushing down.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's okay.
pushing down.
I like
So-
how he's like,
You
"It's
need this,
pushing
Tom.
down." Yeah, you
Your
need
wife
it.
flushes tampons.
Hey, that was not supposed to be talked about.
Well-
I flush wipes, and I can't stop doing it. I'm addicted to wipes, and I got to stop it. And even now, they've started putting the branding all over them now that says, like, plumbers are okay with us. They promised us.
I
Have you
promise
seen
you,
that
I'm
now?
not okay
But
with
have
that.
you seen that?
Get
Have
'em.
you seen where they're talking about you guys now on the thing? It's like, these are approved by plumbers. And I was
Which
like, oh.
plumbers?
Yeah, exactly.
We appreciate the job security, so I guess continue on with that.
Yeah,
So-
but they do say that now. They're like, we talked with plumbers, and we got them
Oh,
okay.
maybe they cut a deal. Maybe they said
It
they're okay
seems-
with it so they can keep them in business.
It seems like they used to go with like now flushable. Now it's beyond that. Now it's like plumbers actually approved these. You're okay.
Okay, well,
Like they're trying to get that guilt.
so let's talk about this. Seems to be a problem where the toilets are getting more efficient, or like me and Daniel, we've seen toilet, like when we bought one for our Air T&D. Like there was toilets that like advertised that they could flush 8 billiard balls.
Yeah.
And then like you could put 8 and I'm like-
billiard balls. And I was like,
I still don't believe it.
I
There's
want
no
to
way.
do it. We bought that one too, and he won't let me flush them. I was like, dude, I'll go buy the balls
Well-
and we'll flush them good.
Yeah, we wanted to flush 8 billiard balls, but then it dawned
But then
on
we
us.
realized we're idiots.
Well, we're like, hold on. Like, the toilet can handle 8 billiard balls,
Yes.
but the 250-year-old Sanford plumbing, or pipes.
The city will be knocking on your door for sure.
Yeah,
Are these your billiard balls? Not ours.
So, because all the plumbing underneath all of our houses are over 50 years old at least, right?
How big are the pipes under my house? Like when, and I know this is a little crass, but when I'm done and I stand up, put the pajama pants on, and I flush it, and it goes down, how big? Because this is going to fix my imagination. Because I think most people have this problem.
Yeah.
How big is the pipe? Is it as big as like a line for like a sprinkler? Is it a big jumbo you can fit a watermelon through? Like, what is?
I think it's like Ninja Turtles down there.
What is?
There's a sidewalk and then
you.
the doo-doos in the middle.
Exactly.
Huge.
Yeah, I've always imagined that if I flush it, my car could go straight there. Like
Indiana Jones runs down there.
Yeah, how big is the pipe from my waist seat? And say I'm being clinical. To like, how big is it?
Minimum 3 inches.
3 inches.
The Ninja Turtles living in your sewer is a false
3
statement, by
inches.
the way.
Well, hold on a second. Now, this again, not trying to be disgusting. I have produced what seems to be in excess of 3 inches.
Yeah.
Around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I commend you, sir,
Barbasol can.
for being able to stand here at this point.
They call him Billy Barbasol.
They call me Norman. Newman. Norman.
It gets bigger as it goes, right? So you start in the house, it's minimum 3 inches for a toilet. As you get into the sewers of the city, it's going to get larger and larger as it takes on more houses down the street.
All right.
But back to the original problem, like the toilets can handle more, but the actual pipes themselves can't. Is that part of what the problem with our plumbing system is? Like, we're flushing more wipes and other things, and like the toilets want to be able to handle more, and then it's going into old cast iron 1950s pipes that are all rusted with some roots in there.
That's what I'm imagining. It's just nightmares down there.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, so it's like your toilet paper is going to dissolve over time, right? So even with your cast iron, it's like a reverse cheese grater as it gets older. So you put a wipe. I haven't seen this quote-unquote dissolvable wipe exist yet.
Okay.
But they market it, right?
See, I don't think that's fair,
dissolves.
though. Like, I think that then they should be taken off the market, right? Because that's not cool.
And
It's not cool that you're lying. I mean, you are lying now.
And we send one of our team members out. They snake a drain. They pull the wipes out. And apparently nobody in the house uses wipes when you actually pull them back out.
Oh, no.
That's what I say. I lie.
You don't get many Dans that come out and say, "Oh yeah, I use those religiously."
Well, because I'm honest about the level of comfort that I want, and
Yeah.
I'm honest about the flaws that I have, and it's horrible.
Same with the feminine products. Apparently, that doesn't exist in houses when you pull it out and you have to say, "Hey, listen, this is what I found," and they're like, "I don't know where that came from."
Well, I've never seen this before in my life.
I'm
That's
only,
what I say.
and then your wife's like, "I'm gonna leave 12."
You ever caught somebody cheating by flushing condoms, and they're like, "We don't use condoms."
No,
Sam, that's a very uncomfortable question.
We had a couple, unfortunately, get caught in the middle of that because we pulled out feminine products, and she said she was past that point in her life.
tampon daughter.
God, that's a mess.
So the husband was a deer in the headlights, and I was, please sign this bill so I can leave, because this is a very awkward conversation.
No, you got to put that in a Winn-Dixie plastic bag and take it with you.
You got to drive it to the dumpster over the 7-Eleven. Everybody knows that, you idiot. Or you make her take that with her. You take that with you.
So I've got a plunger question for you guys. So is the best plunger that black accordion?
Dude, I told you this.
Or can you go with the standard Mario?
No, the standard Mario's for sinks. The black one's for turds.
Oh, is that true?
I've been telling you this forever. That he doesn't listen to a thing I say.
I've never used a plunger on a sink.
It's not the plunger, it's the person behind it.
I thought the red one was for sinks, and the black one that has the lip, that's for turds.
Okay, so what is the accordion one? That's the best one.
That's
the
like the
BMW.
Mercedes.
Yeah,
I got. Everybody has two. You have a wood handle that's roughly sanded with a dusty red on the end of it that looks like you could stick it on.
It's the Mario.
A bald guy, the Mario, and then I've got the other one, which I like to call the Tractor Supply, which is black on the bottom with a lip, and then it's got a bright yellow fiberglass handle with an action handle on the top of it for some real rootin' and tootin'.
Okay, all right.
Like that thing's
This is for
work your way to the black one.
This is for those 3-inch ones you were talking about.
I got
right?
one of those. Yeah, I got one in every bathroom's got a big black with a yellow handle. Like the dentists don't mess around. We're some plungers.
Is that the black plunger, the accordion one, is the best, right? Or is it, or like you said?
I've never used the accordion one.
Really?
Yeah, I think most plumbers would say we stick to the old school wooden handle.
Mario. You're
yeah.
right. Yeah.
So, like I said,
I'm wrong again.
It's the person behind it, not the plunger. So that's how I see it.
But your hands are bad. You need the black one.
No, they're not that
The
bad.
Mario
though.
takes a little more
What about that one that I see on the internet where it's just like some cellophane and then you put it over
Oh, that's
your
the
toilet
Japanese.
and then you
Yeah.
just use your hand and you pump the
Yeah,
top
have
of
you
the
guys seen
cellophane.
that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. It's a piece of cellophane.
You've never seen the cellophane?
It's
the
like the
Japanese?
Japanese emergency plunger, and it's
Yeah.
a piece of cellophane. It's like a sticker, and it goes over your toilet, and it makes like a seal, and then you flush it, and it makes the seal. It sucks down, I think, and then it like forces it through. Because you see it suck the plastic in.
Well, I thought you had to hand pump it, the plastic on the top.
Maybe you do. Here, let me see if I can find it.
It's like, once you put it on there, then you hand pump, and then it says that it just goes away, and it's the
I mean,
most
I put cellophane
efficient.
on toilets in college.
Yeah, I thought we were going more towards the prank
The
side of
prank,
this.
yeah.
This is
Okay, yeah, you're right. You do pump it. But it's, here it is. It's the plunge.
No mess plunger.
Yeah, it's the Plunge Max. The no mess plunger. So you stretch it over. I don't know. This one doesn't have a video. Let me see if I can find a video. This is riveting for people.
Can you pour straight grease down your kitchen sink?
Okay,
No.
Because
this is a
I
great
think
question.
you can.
My wife thinks you can.
Well,
So
me and your wife.
she's a firm believer that
Okay.
you can,
Yeah.
but I would
I
recommend
like
not
that your
doing
wife
that.
is telling
So-
you it works for a plumbing company. No, I know what's better for pipes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
my wife does that too.
She just what? She just puts the
Well,
grease
you're not a plumber, Tom.
straight like a bunch of grease?
No. She puts it in a cup and puts it by the sink, and then eventually.
Oh, that's what my grandma used to do.
yeah. Then I see the cup of gelatinous fat.
Yeah, I'm like, this is disgusting. I need to put this down the sink.
Then I squish because then once it's gelatinous, then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's fine.
Yeah, the pipes are 3 inches. How big?
Yeah.
How big is my gelatinous? Oh, it's only 2 inches.
Yeah. I started looking up some like holiday plumbing problems.
I did too. Yeah.
Because I was like, I knew you guys were coming in. So
Yeah.
I was like, what?
We're priming
Who
the pump a
flushed
little
their
bit.
stocking down the toilet?
and I'm like, and then I'm like, look, there's a bunch of lists on the internet. And I don't know if you're familiar with how the internet works. It's all lists. It's like radio. And
He's their social media guy. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows better than you.
And then it was like top 10 things you could do for the holidays that prevent plumbing problems, right? So I'm like,
Don't
oh.
eat.
I'm like, this is perfect. I'll ask the modern plumbing guys. So one of them was like, you can pre-snake your drains so that you know that they're nice and like snaked and clean before the holidays. I'm like,
Man,
no one's doing that.
Okay, you're gonna laugh at
I'm
me.
like, no one's pre-snaking their drains.
Is my wife in the chat room? You are literally gonna punch me in the face. Last night, my wife got this thing. It's about this long, and it's like a little drain weasel.
Auger drain.
Yeah, and it's got a little bristle thing on the end of it. And she's like, it's time to... Dude, you're going to kill me.
Pre-snake their drains?
And my wife goes...
You don't have anybody
You
coming
didn't
over,
even
do
know
you?
this. You didn't even know this. Is Andrea in there?
It's
You didn't
3
even know
tiny
this.
people living in your house.
I know, and it's like a little thing. And then my wife goes to the bathroom. She goes, "It's time to snake our drains because they have my hair and stuff. Because she has so much hair."
All right. Well,
So
yeah,
I
the
go
hair.
in there, and it was we got it all done.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did
but
every drain in the bathroom, but that is a thing. I did it, and I pulled out a clump of her hair in the shower. Holy smokes! And it had all kinds of product and soap and garbage all over it.
I just never would have ever thought of pre-handling a problem before it becomes a problem. It blew my GD
That's
mind.
You guys are glad that people don't do that, right?
Yeah, no, preventative maintenance, yeah. It saves
Is
us-
that something you should do if
The hair and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get calls where, they say, I want you to snake my whole mane and do this. And it's like, well, I mean, if you don't have a problem, right?
Yeah.
So snaking isn't going to typically resolve the issue, right?
those are anxiety
so-
people? But hey, if you want us to snake it, we'll snake it.
And there's also like inspections if you do think you have old rusty cast iron pipes or roots in your pipes or something, because I know that I've had this problem before. I got 2 giant oak trees on my property, and all the roots are trying, like they're just trying to get into the pipes at every second of the day, and you know, like, they're trying right now. Like,
I can hear them. I can hear them.
And so you guys can inspect them, send a robot. How is that?
We'll send a camera reel down.
Okay.
We'll inspect it. We can locate it. Tell you where
said
the
a
problems
robot.
are.
You lied.
A robot.
I thought that was a robot.
They do make
camera.
robots for larger ones, but
Okay.
no,
What?
all our guys carry cameras on the truck. Anytime we snake a line, we send a camera down.
What's
We
the
wanna
craziest
verify.
thing any of those guys have ever seen on the camera?
Sky's the limit.
Oh, I bet.
Sky's the limit. I don't think
Like-
I can compare story to story.
You see
but
like a
yeah.
handgun down there. You see a
Snake.
pair of yellow eyes.
No, you'll get a lot of like frogs and things like that in there, cockroach. But you'll find toys,
Oh,
wife's
yeah.
credit card. You find all kinds of fun
Phones.
things in there. So
Like I've seen, because I've been waiting for the day that the roots finally take over my pipes, and then I'm
Winter is
screwed.
coming. What do you do? What do you do with
Yeah,
them?
like, you think you have to dig up the whole pipe, and the whole all it is money. That's all. I was just waiting for money
and expertise.
and
Sure. And time,
so-
because I'm sure those things, those fixes are easy, right? A repipe, that's a pretty simple couple hours.
well, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like,
Like
yeah,
an hour and a half,
because
maybe?
once the roots get in, there's no getting them out. I think it's just like they're getting in there and they just nonstop coming. It's like when the movies when like the armies of people break through the one wall.
Once
and
the troll breaks the gate down, then all the zombies go running.
Yeah, you can't get them back out. It's like
No.
once it's in, there's no getting them out. Anyway, is that true, by the way? And is there anything I could do? Like, because I saw some products on the internet, like you flush down some sort of acid or like.
Yeah, and it kills the trees.
Yeah. And then it's supposed to be like root killer. And I'm like, there's no way. They're like, I just put this in my toilet, flush it, and it's going to kill all the roots if they do get in.
Yeah, is that a thing?
I would steer anyone against using any kind of Drainos or magic, drain opener liquids. All you're doing is upsetting the guy that's going to come out and put his hands in these chemicals, right? So
think
so
about
don't
that.
flush
Yeah,
acid
the-
down there because that was.
the big calls we get is the kitchen sink is blocked up, it's filled to the rim with water, and they poured 2 gallons of Drano, and the poor technician's just getting covered in Drano because the line, what do you know, is still clogged, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And what is Drano made of? Because it's got to be.
adamantium, I don't know. It's,
But it's a
But I
harsh
do
chemical.
like the idea of like, oh my God, thank God you guys are here. I filled it full of acid for you. Get to work. That's real bad. Yeah, I've never thought about that, but yeah, that is really, really bad.
Yeah. Well, because I imagine most people are like me, and then they come up with an idea of how to fix something that makes no sense whatsoever, and it's based on no knowledge. Like it's just something-
pure imagination.
Yeah, it's just something I thought of.
Actually,
like,
I give that
acid
a little.
should fix
I
this.
give it a little bit of like. I give it a like. I wouldn't do it, but I do love your imagination.
Yeah, I mean, there's unlimited answers on the internet, but I just think of it myself. And I'm like, it'll work. I'll stab some sticks down there and just start stabbing. I'm like, why did you even think
Yeah,
that?
can you chop them?
Yeah.
Like if the root.
So we have cutter heads on the snakes. We can help you get it opened up, but it's not a long-term solution, right? We're just getting you by until we make a proper repair.
Yeah.
Tom, I've been to your house. Good luck. I've seen those trees.
Oh,
I
this guy's already been cutting your turd roots.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
seen Tom's turd
You
roots.
see it? Oh,
did you see Soapy Butt?
Yeah. Oh my God.
No, I took it down. I turned it around. It's like
It's weird. The other side are dogs playing poker,
yeah,
which is interesting choice, but it's a
All right.
classic, I guess.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much for
thanks
coming
for
by.
We're getting out of here now.
Is there anything else you wanted to add to people's like holiday maintenance this year?
Yeah.
Of course, modernpi.com, 10% off when you mention Tom and Dan when you give them a
100%.
call. But if you have any service problems, you have any projects, I mean, you handle anything plumbing related, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, there's nothing that you guys don't do that's related to pipes.
I do wish that what they did for me was as impressive as what they did for you, because your outdoor shower is very impressive.
Yeah. It's the fanciest thing
It
on my
is
patio.
it actually has degraded his entire
I mean,
house.
it is covered in dirty clothes, but
Don't tell
fine.
that. No, you have to hang them somewhere, Sam. The pipes make it perfect for hanging my bathing
They are
suits.
good hanging pipes.
These are some of the best hanging pipes I've
Yeah,
seen.
if you put pipe, I want to work out on them, but I know that would bring them down. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Again, it's modernpi.com.
Exactly.
Um,
Happy holidays, guys.
yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you
being
very
here.
much.
We appreciate it.
And thanks for sponsoring the show and the cruise, which you guys are giving away a
Yeah.
cruise
So
to a
awesome.
teacher. And is there still a way to apply for that or put yourself in the
Yeah, you
contest?
can jump on the Instagram, put a comment on the cruise post, and that's where we're getting them from.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
reshare that too.
Yeah.
So people can find it and like make a comment.
And what's your social media again?
Modern Plumbing Industries, IND.
Okay, perfect.
There you
Guys, we appreciate it, and we will
you.
see you in a minute.
Got it. We're still on Twitch and YouTube. Perfect. That was awesome, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Where's that go, Sam?
Yeah, no
Where do we want to put that? Tuesday or Wednesday, Tom?
Good seeing you, man.
You too. Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Good seeing you, my man.
Appreciate you,
Always
brother.
if you guys need
the
anything.
opportunity. Have
Yeah.
a good holiday.
Yeah, you as well. Please give everybody there some love from us and wish them a very happy holidays. It doesn't really feel like it's like rocketing towards Christmas, which is weird
Oh, yeah.
to me.
Halfway through the month.
Very fast.
basically.
I don't like it. I wish it would slow down a little bit, but you know.
Not gonna happen.
Nope.
Enjoy the time off.
You as well. You said 3?
I don't know if he wants to do
Maybe.
it Tuesday or Wednesday, so we're gonna have to see. Because
Because
I think we were
I'll say.
initially talking about making it a weird job, but I think Jimmy from the Science Center would be better for a weird job.
Yes, I agree.
So maybe we'll do this Tuesday. I don't know.
I had a lady email me and ask me about her kid going to the Solar Bears, and the kid's 3, and she's like, do I have to buy a ticket for him? And I think anybody over 2, you do have to buy a ticket unless you feel comfortable doing the, hey, they're 2. Like, Maisie couldn't get away with it right now. Her friend that we just took to Solar Bears probably, like, back in the day could have done it. I've never seen anybody question it, although Sam did at Disney, right? You saw somebody question it
Oh,
at
yeah.
Disney. I've never
They
seen
started
it.
cracking down
Yeah.
because a lot of
Well,
people
I
were
mean,
doing it.
Yeah, but anyway, I did tell her, if you feel comfortable doing it, do it. If you don't, don't. For me, it would give me probably too much anxiety, so I'd rather just buy the ticket. Plus, the tickets are only like $20, so it's not like you're breaking the bank. Now, if it were like a $70 ticket, maybe that would be different, you know. Let's see here. Cheers, guys. See ya. Where did you want to put that? Because we both had Tuesday.
Tuesday 3.
Okay.
All right.
See y'all. Have
See
a good
ya.
rest of your day. All right. I'm in my head. I'm in my own head.
In my head.
In my head. I forgot she passed away. What was that, 2 years ago now? A year ago?
I feel like it was last year, but who knows?
Oh, Laid Up. You liked it? Great. I'm glad you liked the Solar Bears. Yeah, for for $20. I mean, I don't know if you can really beat it. I mean, it's like a little bit more expensive than a movie.
So Deborah's coming in at 11.
Yes.
Okay.
Today?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So let's do Tuesday 1,
Okay.
and let's just do.
You don't want to. Well, okay.
Oh,
I mean, we only need 10 minutes for Tuesday 4, but then we are still gonna have some time in between.
yeah, I figured we'd go back and just do that 10 minutes later, and then we'll do Tuesday 1.
Maybe we do that 10 minutes now,
Okay.
because I'm just thinking because he's got to get out of here right after Science Center, right?
Yes.
Oh,
So-
that's
So-
Science Center for 1.
Science
was
Center's
1
at
and-
12.
Okay,
His
but we'll do that for 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll do Deborah for Wednesday 3 and 4.
Wednesday,
Yeah,
okay.
3. Okay. So yeah, let's do that 10 minutes. That's a good idea.
Okay, do the 10 minutes. Okay.
So Tuesday 4.
Because the paleontologist will be interesting.
And I was thinking of doing. Well, actually, I was thinking of doing them for Weird Job, Jimmy, for the Weird Job.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we could do Fair Villa for 1 and 2, or 1.
Yeah.
Or we can start with Tuesday 1 now. See how far we can get before Deborah gets here. Because then she's 11 and they're at 12, so that's a whole hour in between too. So we can finish Tuesday before they get here.
Okay. Let's
You want to just start Tuesday 1 then?
Yeah, let's just do Tuesday 1.
Okay.
And then
all right. Would you like to begin?
Yep.
I got
a bunch of emails too.
and then I got like a very interesting voicemail from somebody in Indonesia. I was like, and he called back. He's a pretty interesting guy.
Okay.
But it's long, but it's interesting. All right. Why don't you bring us or start us, please?
Yep.
3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
The BDM Christmas party is this Saturday. If you're a BDM,
You know where you're going.
yeah, you should have gotten an invite in your email.
Yep.
Check your spam if you didn't,
Yeah.
or email us if you didn't.
Yeah,
We'll
show
let you
at
know.
tomandan.com. I can make things happen if you just want to email me, show at tomandan.com. There's a way to also sort of RSVP so we can kind of get a head count. We just ask that you do that. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing all of you guys at, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, BDMs now.
Yeah,
So we'll see you Saturday. What do we got here?
So I like it when we get these like a little more curious and drawn out and like interesting voicemails. Like a lot of voicemails, it's interesting because you'll get some from people that'll just be like, "Hey, love the show," and you're like, "Wow, I can't really play that," right? Because you're just like wasting time by telling people, or at
That
least
you like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, thank you. I appreciate those, and those never get old. It's great when somebody says they appreciate, all this hard work we do.
It's only emotional value to us.
Correct.
I wonder if there's any value to listeners to hear that. Maybe it's like, oh, that makes me like the show a little bit more
or it
because other
validates
people
the fact
like
that I like it and other people like it. I'm part of the tribe. I don't know, but I like voicemails sort of like this one. This one's sort of interesting because it doesn't sound like our typical listener. And well, here, just listen to it.
Hey, yo, Tom and Dan, and Sam, and I just I'm feeling so compelled to call, and I've wanted to talk to you guys for years and years. I've listened to the Monsters, blah blah blah, way back when, and your show, your last Friday show, when you were talking about, I actually don't have zero idea where it is because I live in Indonesia. What you guys are talking about, that a new drug or whatever it is, but yeah. I am.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop it there because
Yes.
it's a hard listen, but it did make me think like this guy's just smack dab in the middle of Indonesia listening to us, and super nervous to call. And for whatever reason, I find that entirely fascinating. A man is nervous to leave us a voicemail in Indonesia, and that's crazy to me.
Well, I think the fact that it seems like he used to live in Orlando.
He did.
Yeah.
And so that is always less impressive. It's more impressive when he started listening in Indonesia.
Yeah, how'd you
just
find us?
Just
Yeah.
by the internet.
All
you
right.
can find anything on the
Sure.
internet now.
Yeah, but like discovering things is hard. Discoverability is
Especially when it's not like you guys are like celebrities in the bigger picture and not just Central Florida. You know?
Yeah, well, this is our only
When you
job.
got a million other celebrities with podcasts now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
How do you
offense
find
to-
this one?
Yeah, no offense to like comedians or anything, and but like when they do podcasting, their podcast is usually an aside to their normal job, which is being a comedian. I mean, this is all that we do.
Yeah.
We don't use this as a vehicle for anything other than what it is. This is our vehicle. So
It's interesting because there's been a couple interesting how I started listening stories that stick in my mind. One was a guy that was living in California, and caught the morning show on Sirius back when they used to broadcast on Sirius.
Yeah.
And then like just started listening to it that way, and then followed our career when we started podcasting, and then it was a listener ever since. But that's an interesting one, just because like, oh, you heard it on XM in California,
right.
And then followed us from that point. And then the internet, like, remember there was like a Australian kid, like I said kid, he was in his like late teens that started listening, and then he called the show like earlier on in the podcast, and then like there's been some people in Europe that didn't have any connection with Florida that started listening, and that's weird to me.
Well, that's the reason I flagged this, voicemail is like one of the ones I wanted to play. Like, I knew it's not going to be the most riveting amount of information, but what it does is it gives me a way to tell people, pardon me, if you're living in a crazy area comparatively to Orlando, Florida, I'd love to hear from you. Indonesia, nervously calling us from Indonesia is pretty darn cool. What's crazier than Indonesia? What can we get? Start collecting voicemails from all across the globe.
If you live in North Korea, not South, North.
Up to this point, we've only
would be real weird.
Up to this point, I think we've only had maybe 4 downloads from there because like there's no internet there, or at least we're
getting
the South Korean,
the
demilitarized zone aspect.
Like someone's downloading it from the border, and
exactly.
That's
what
the analytics can't tell. But,
it's obviously a soldier, I would imagine. We've had a couple from Iran. That's a weird one too. Like 5 downloads from Iran.
Yeah,
I'm like, what were you just flying through?
Or is there any sort of military base that's around there?
Or maybe he shouldn't have been
military bases everywhere.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have been on his phone. Sometimes I think that. Like, there's
they gotta be entertained too.
Yeah, you're off doing something secret. You still gotta listen to something silly. But anyway, you got an email over there, Sam?
Sure.
Let's do a couple of emails. But yeah, I'd like to see more international voicemails in 2024. That's one of my resolutions.
Listening to the BDM show Go It Alone, honestly, the Friday Free Show was way better when you weren't catering to a select few listeners. You did the show how you all wanted to, changed the intro, changed the format, stopped self-censoring, F 'em. It was best and attracted more listeners when it was what y'all felt like doing on any random Friday. You can't please everyone, and trying will always lead to you not enjoying it. And also, the ACT shows have become like an hour-long infomercial. Very dry content, often not anything any of the listeners I know want to listen to. So you sprinkle in comedy all week to put the proverbial lipstick on the pig, and by Friday you're done and have no funny stories or jokes left. If ACT is supposed to advertise to local people, then call it the commercial time with Tom and Dan. Last, Dan, please shut the hell up and let the guests speak.
Here it is.
And Tom speak. It's so annoying when you constantly talk over them. Making jokes that fall flat or injecting lowbrow humor at inappropriate times that detracts from the story and overall quality of the show. I love a good dirty joke, don't get me wrong, but there's a time and a place. It makes the show extremely hard to listen to and follow. TLDR, stop catering to the few regular diehards and get off on the feeling important because they complain and give you anxiety. Ditch the ACT infomercial format, make it relatable for non-locals, or include how we can support these businesses who support you.
This guy figured it out.
Yeah, my God.
This is some criticism from one of the listeners.
It's a critique. Yeah, it's a critique. I don't necessarily disagree with all of it, but there is some stuff in there that's completely unfeasible and shows like a lack of understanding of really what we do here or how we have to execute things. I mean, there is a pretty dead set way we have to do things here.
Well, this is a good lesson about Monday morning quarterbacking or sitting on your couch and watching a sports game.
But I like the critique, though. I mean, I like that he feels, and I thanked him for it. I sent him an email and thanked him for sending that.
And then saying to yourself or your friends what you think the coach should be doing during the game and how he's an idiot, he's doing it all wrong.
Yeah,
and,
real bad about this.
And then, so it's, I always laugh because, like, anytime when I'm watching football and I think something's done that it doesn't make any sense and I can't figure out why, and then I'm like, well, that's stupid. And then I think to myself, well, they know better than me. And all these coaches have played this game and been involved so long, and they're the best in the business. To get to this, they're the best at their jobs.
I mean,
now,
collectively,
some are better than others.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
So for me to even try to comprehend what their decisions are or critique them, Like they have to be doing it for a reason I can't understand. Not that I know more than them, logically. You know. So then when someone says what we should be doing, it's like I always laugh because like how can you not know? You don't know all the information. And so, like, the people doing it, they know more than everybody else.
Yeah.
So, believe me, they're doing it the way they think it should be done.
Yeah.
And your opinion on how it should be done doesn't have the complete information. So,
Right.
It's hard to take your advice. You know?
The thing that I saw that like to me was glaring, and then we can leave it here, and we'll jump to another voicemail, because I like taking people's criticism too. In fact, I think it's good to hear that, even the stuff that I don't want to hear. You know, like, hey, let the show breathe a little more. Stop interrupting so much. Don't be so reactionary with your comments. Okay, I mean that's a good point. I mean that's not. I mean you can learn from that, right? From any of that kind of stuff. The problem with one of the things he said was, you know, like, you guys should make it a commercial time with Tom and Dan. Well, then you must have absolutely missed what we were doing when we called a mediocre time with Tom and Dan. The more commercial version of it is called a corporate time with Tom and Dan. We're doing that. I mean, it's what we're doing. You're saying...
Yeah. And it's not all
No.
Sponsor interviews. Yeah,
No,
we do
it's
pepper them in
not.
there, but it's not every single show.
I think it's also a lot of wishful thinking where you have people where it's like, look, man, you guys have understood and have been believers in this radio station, especially. Real Radio is a very, very special radio station in that there are not that many of them, right?
Yeah.
So if you're participating with this radio station, you're smart enough to understand that there's commerce going on here. You're not an idiot.
Yeah.
This,
can't.
this,
We
I
gotta
almost
pay.
cursed.
We gotta
I
get
almost
paid to
cursed.
keep the show going.
This S can't be free, and you know that. So you're actually insulting yourself by even saying that, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Come on, man. You know what we're attempting to do here.
We maybe do 5 sponsors a month, maybe, and that's the most.
Yeah, and that's 5. You know, even if
Sprinkled
there's,
out through the month, not like
even if
a whole show.
Let's say there's 10. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of hours of non-sponsored content. And honestly, like, you know, let's say modern plumbing. It's funny because I don't know when this will air comparatively to when we recorded that.
Later on in this episode.
Yeah, so we talked to modern plumbing. And
so get ready for commercial content.
And the thing is, like, modern plumbing is a great partner of ours. And without our advertisers, we cannot do this as a job.
100%.
You know, we'd have to go back to having full-time jobs and maybe getting together on our time off and then doing a podcast for a hobby. And that's what you'd get if this, you know, or we have to have the sponsors who advertise be able to pay for this all to happen and to be able to make a living for our families. And without them, we can't do it. Believe me, you know, if we had 10,000 more BDMs, they were all paying $10.95 a month.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'd have less sponsored content, but that does not exist.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's
just like I mean, I guess in a weird way, what Tom's saying too is if for this gentleman, if you want to change that, if it's something that you don't think you can take, well then, you know, I mean, obviously your first, you know, method it would be to, you know, just go in a different direction, or you can pay more, and then we'll do our best to try and eliminate more and more commercials until we're commercial free.
Well, that's why we have a Friday show that you know that you usually is like we've done it before. We don't.
It has never changed.
And then BDM shows that there's no commercials in whatsoever. So, but anyway, you know,
thanks for the feedback.
I do appreciate that because I care what people.
Yeah, I wrote
think.
it back and I said like, hey, thank you, I appreciate your opinion, man. Like, regardless of whether or not it's critiquing any of us, you know, we're all here to just do the best job, you know. This one is about Waffle Houses.
Hey, Dan, Sam, and Pink Pig Ankles. I hope you like the ambient sound of my air conditioner, which does nothing. So, I moved to Punta Gorda a few years ago, right at the start of the pandemic. And out here, we don't have a whole lot of options on dining out. And my wife and I have become regulars at the Waffle House every Friday morning because she insists I need something called underbooze before I watch your show on Fridays because maybe I get overserved. 2 questions. Do you pronounce it Punta Gorda or Punta Gorda? Question 2. would you like me to ask my friends at the Waffle House about the crazy plate marking food system? Because
we did this one, didn't we? That's
Yeah.
why I was like confused. I'm pretty sure we did this one.
Yeah, I think we did. Did
God
we?
damn
I
it.
remember hearing it before.
Yeah, that's why I was making a face. God damn it, Daniel.
Oh, that's fine.
No, it's not fine. This whole thing's falling apart. This is gonna help. He's
Commercials,
gonna
repeat
next thing you know, he's gonna look
voicemails.
at me. He's like, "Oh, just do one voicemail. Go, let's get out of here." I know how this happens.
No. The listeners like hearing the same voicemails. That's what I tell myself.
Who wants new content?
Yeah. Just play that one. Always.
Just keep playing
How
the same
long
ones.
Can we, how long do we exist? How long would this is an issue. Like, what if we just said screw it?
And just keep playing old shows.
Just and then just checking the downloads to see, like, there would be one guy that continued to at least download
yeah.
it once just
I
to
don't
see if
know,
it's
man.
new.
Gary.
I don't know.
And then when he finally
I don't
didn't,
know,
we'd
man.
just cheer and be like, "Oh, we're dead."
Oh, we're dead.
Why would she cheer? Oh,
We're all here to get out of here, right?
okay.
Do you want an email or
yeah,
you got
do
another
an email.
voicemail?
Do an
Okay.
email. Emails are easier to know.
All right. This says, the real loneliest bear in the world. Hey guys, I hope you all had a great weekend. I was just listening to the past BDM show where Tom spills the beans that he in fact has never ever had fun before his children. Well, it's great the person who craps on everyone else's enjoyment finally finds something he is passionate about, but I do have some concerns for the future. While he may have had an awesome time with Miami Santa, it only took a 2-second peep at the Insta reel to see that Miami Santa children dance party to decide that it is a literal nightmare for myself. But that's besides the point. If Tom has realized he'd never had fun before the kids, we all must realize that there is a time limit here, and once those kids don't care about him anymore, he is going to be one of those parents that don't know what to do with themselves at all when they leave because he has made them his whole personality at this point. This syndrome is real, and I always thought it was pretty pathetic of the parents to have completely lost themselves and literally have no purpose in life anymore, but we have all seen this one beginning to play out. I doubt he will try to fix it or branch out and get a hobby besides gambling, which is not a hobby, but I thought
Why isn't it?
But I thought I would do what I can and lob a gentle warning as his future of the truest, loneliest bear.
He's talked about this before. This isn't something that you haven't said before.
I didn't say I'd never had fun. I think it got exaggerated.
It did. You have
but-
fun. You just,
Yeah.
you're, I mean,
This is new, like it's just a new fun that I have, and I really enjoy hanging out with my kids and then seeing the fun they're having.
Yeah.
Which I think is a thing that people said, the cliche, like you're seeing the kids have fun, which is like you're experiencing it again.
Oh, yeah,
or
people
whatever.
told me that. I'll be like, well, what am I going to do? And they'll be like, no, don't worry about it. You're going to be watching them have fun, and that'll be enough for you because you're dying.
So I've thought of this because I have fast forwarded in the future, and I'm like,
Oh, I
well,
know.
they will.
You're always fast forwarding in the future, right? Like, don't you live a little bit?
yeah.
You're a future man.
which is
Tom Van Future Man.
apparently bad. I see the internet and
It's not
TikTok
bad.
motivational, like
No.
don't live in the future, live in the present.
No, but well, isn't it about isn't everything a balance? I mean, you're not supposed to be so oblivious to the future that when something hits you in the head, you're like, oh, I'm dead. Like we were just talking about.
Yeah, but I get what they're saying. It's like, well, you're just looking in the future your whole life, and then
Oh
next
my
thing
God.
you know.
They said it in the Blossom theme song.
Who worry about the future? That's anybody's guess. That ain't no reason for getting all depressed.
So I've thought about this, and there is a small chance, because I've seen it. I've seen it in my travels where
Oh, it's Together Forever?
yes, I've seen sons and dads be friends for life.
But does that? Here's what I would
It
argue,
happens.
and I already know where you're going to go with this. But is that either of you, the three of you, living to your full potential? Wouldn't that, in an odd way, be you limiting what your two sons can do? It's selfish, right? It's like you're limiting what they can do because you're saying, I want to keep you here.
Yeah, don't fly too far.
Yeah, it's like, it is a bit limiting to think that your father, like, are you going to guilt him and be like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with myself if you go off to college?
Deion Sanders and his sons are best friends for life, and he's coaching them on the same team. He's their coach.
I like Deion, but I didn't realize until saying that
Friends
I
for
like Deion
life.
how many people don't like Deion. There are a lot of people that very much dislike Deion Sanders. I didn't know that. I've been living my entire life like Deion Sanders, Atlanta Falcons, number 21, and then like this whole thing with Coach Prime and everything, and I didn't realize how hated he is.
Well, because people with that personality that is like, first he's like, he's a jock. He's always been
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he's
like,
flashy.
yeah, and
He's
then
always been Deion.
mixed with he's always had the over the top ego, and the biggest star in the NFL at
Yes,
time.
he's
and
a diva. Yeah, he's that guy.
So that's his shtick.
It's
And,
just weird for me because I hate coaching. You'll hear it
People
now.
don't like that, yeah.
Well, I guess you get to a certain level of popularity and everybody hates you.
And
know?
if you're like super confident and you're matter of fact,
Yeah.
and then you're that type of personality, people just don't like that.
Yeah.
No matter.
It's abrasive.
Yeah. Anyway, there are friends for life that I've seen that are actually healthy friends for life. Like, I understand.
My dad did it with his dad. Like my dad, his father owned the office supply store. He had the two sons, just like you and you with Tommy and Max. And then he groomed them to take over the store, and that's what they were doing.
Yeah, well, that's a business, like
they
family
were-
business.
yeah, but it was
I
all
love that,
to-
but there's nothing. I can't get them into this business.
You just got to train Tommy or Max to take over my position. I'll let them buy me out.
It's this one.
I totally think Max could do it. We kind of dress the same right now. I dress like a 9-year-old boy, right?
It just doesn't work. I wish it did, because that's the ultimate, working with your sons and being like
Maisie could be like the Samantha. I could have Maisie job shadow Samantha, and then your two sons could job shadow us. Tommy could play the role of the logical one with Max playing the role of the emotional one. It might work. It might work.
It could work.
It could work.
Who knows?
I mean, Maisie, very organized, right? Doesn't take any S. Very Samantha-esque, right?
Yeah.
Say, like Max, emotional, loser, pigman snoozer, runs to the room, slams the door. I would do that 100%. You call me a pigman snoozer, you're going to get a fist. Tommy, why are we doing this? Why are we here? Overthinking it. Doesn't like I'm telling you, we can work this.
And there is a business model in media where you don't need any viewers or listeners or no one watching, right?
Yeah.
And
you just need the outlet and for the money to go there.
You can survive just with like heritage and like marketing money that gets wasted here and there, and
we just got to find the wasters.
You find the wasted marketing money they just dump, and then
Andrew
you can,
Liskow. That's free money from the government.
And you can survive in media with 0 viewers or listeners. And I've seen it happen, and it's possible.
It's happening right now. All around.
Well, why don't we do that?
All around us.
It's really hard to do, but you could and it's like you have to have luck, a lot of luck.
It's like being able to fly as a human. Only like 1 or 2 people can do it. You'll never see them, and it's just luck.
If you just get the right partners and find the marketing money that's just wasted here and there, you just get that and just keep doing it, and then you're like, who's listening to this show? You're like, no one. No. Like, it can't be no one. You're like, no one.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. There may be 10. And then it's like some crazy.
And they
old
just
lady.
accidentally got here.
Yeah. And then you're like, that's impossible. How does it exist? And you're like, well,
it exists.
it's magic. It is a.
Becomes Santa Claus.
It becomes magic, where it's just like the business exists. And it doesn't need any viewers or listeners. And it just exists.
It's sentient. It becomes self-aware.
Yeah, and I think if we can work ourselves into that, if we do this for another 10 years, like if we do the show 25 years, in 10 years from now, it's only 10 years from now.
You become a pod being.
You
just become fully sustainable pod being.
It doesn't matter there could be 0 listeners, and then we'll just have enough marketing money, and then enough.
It's just an influence. It's a sphere of influence.
Like some BDMs will forget that they're paying, and then they just never look at their accounts, and they'll have another.
Fascinio picked it up. It's definitely like the InfoWars vibe. That's what we need. We want to be goofy InfoWars, where it's literally what is it? Nobody knows, but it's something.
I'm not joking. There are TV shows that have like cameramen that get paid, personalities, like have a whole
I know. I'm
cast
thinking
of
of
crew.
the one you're talking about right now.
But like it has like a bunch of people on the payroll, and then it exists, and then you're like, what? Who is
Who do you
watching
guys broadcast
this?
to? And you're like, we don't know.
No
one knows.
I don't think anybody. Like,
You're not even supposed to ask that technically, I don't feel like.
Playboy TV. Remember when
Yes.
the comedian before Dan
What about all
Cummins-
these syndicated morning shows? You know the one I'm thinking of right now. I'm beaming it to you right now.
Yeah.
We've been asked to be on it.
There's these things that exist in media that no one listens to anymore. Playboy TV was one of them. No one watched Playboy TV. It had 0 viewers.
Yeah, but it had a $1 million studio and had naked women running around. There's money everywhere, catering,
people wanting
producer, multiple. Sam, there were so many producers. You would have been mad at how many producers. Being a producer yourself, this show had 7 producers, and we met
interns,
we met with a guy like low level.
People wanted to be on the show for no reason. There's no one watching.
And you know
no
what they-
one.
you know what they-
but it's the brand name, right?
And they gave us a
But it's
parting gift,
weird.
a copy of that month's issue of Playboy magazine as our parting gift.
Nice.
In a little bag.
Apparently, the comedian before Dan Cummins, he was hosting it. And
Eddie Ift.
Eddie Ift, and he realized no one was watching, and then he started screaming one day, like, tweet me if you're seeing this. He's like, I don't believe anybody's seeing this. Like, tweet. Like, he was
Nobody
yelling at the
tweeted
camera, like, no one did it. Like, Eddie Ift has a bunch of followers. You think someone would get on Twitter and be like, oh, yeah. Like, it was, I mean, realistically, how many people were watching Playboy TV on a daily basis?
I tried to watch it. Andrea tried to watch it.
Less than 100?
Andrea worked for Spectrum at the time, and she bought.
Yeah, none of our listeners could even watch it.
Andrea worked for Spectrum at the time and had them go in and manipulate her account so we would have access at our home to Playboy TV, and even then she could not find it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the biggest show in the nation that no one's
nobody's
watching? Like, no one.
Well, what makes it the biggest?
Like, that it's
If
on,
it's not
The
listeners.
most
like
influence, the biggest
syndicated.
entity.
Like, there's some
The biggest market, you mean?
I bet
ridiculousness.
there's some. No, people watch that.
I think it's just your family.
No, I think people, like, they turn on ridiculous because clip shows.
And it's
like,
it just rolls.
Because they tapped into the addiction to clip shows. My sons are addicted. They'll just put on, the AFV does it, or they just do clips that are not even good, and they just run for eternity. They just go there. They go 3 hours.
You know, he used to do this, in
and
his
they're
waiting
just
room.
addicted to them.
Mark Marrow used to do this at Body Slam.
Yeah.
He'd just
Well,
have
he
like
had a
like a
VHS,
CD of like funny videos, but some of them were inappropriate. That was my favorite part.
The internet just puts on 3-hour clip shows that people just sit there watch. They're 10 seconds and they're not even good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Do we need to take a break or power through?
Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
All right. What's up, Deborah? Not a whole lot. Where's that go, Sam?
Tuesday 1.
Tuesday 1. Did we have a Tuesday?
We have a Tuesday 3, which would have been Modern Plumbing, which is about 30 minutes.
It's not like off the chain, but it
Off the chain.
where shoppers like to be last minute. Yeah, they're running in the door at the last minute. Oh my god, I gotta get something fun and sexy. So yeah.
So you want to put her Wednesday 3?
Well, yeah, let's do Wednesday 3 because we could do a half an hour and then
In between, yeah.
and then we'll go back and then do those Tuesday segments.
That's what I was thinking. Cool.
Next Wednesday?
This Wednesday.
Yeah,
So tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Because we got something happening on Thursday.
Okay, cool.
December 13th.
This one. There we go. And Modern Plumbing was what number? 1? 3.
3. Yeah.
3. Santa pillows everywhere. We got a new one. There's our latest one.
Oh, nice.
That'll never stop, will it, TC?
So how's everything here?
Good.
Good. Just getting ready for the end of the year.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, or the last week of this year and the first week of next year were off. So we're just pre-recording for those 2 weeks so that we have basically new content, that we normally have. It just is a lot of busy because we're just fitting all the shows in these next, this week and next week to get it all in.
Yeah, and it's kind of like us too. Like everything starts to, people are going to start taking vacation, and okay, let's all get together and have this meeting right now. And
Yeah.
But
And then after, I'm sure like New Year's, like you guys probably get a rush right before New Year's Eve and stuff because people are going out parties and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Key West kills it at New Year's because it's a big influx of people.
Yeah, yeah.
But all the stores, do pretty well around then, and we got just doing a lot of planning into 24 with events and stuff, so it's good.
Got Deborah's mic on.
I'm here.
There we go. Sorry.
Yay.
She's here.
I'm back.
Let me make sure and fix her cameras. Perfect and perfect. Okay. Okay, would you like to start, TC?
Yeah.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Deborah's here from Fairville and Megastore. How you doing, Deborah? So, Deborah, I'm sure this time of year, people are coming into Fairvilla for gifts. Stocking stuffers probably seems like a huge product that you guys supply because you have great stocking stuffers.
Absolutely.
Hey, man.
What?
In whatever form that might take.
Got some nice stocking stuffers over there.
That means a woman has nice legs.
And let's just get this right out of the way. On Thursday from 6 to 9 at every location, we're doing a Stuff Your Stocking happy hour.
All right. So what is that?
Oh my God, Tom will be there.
Yeah, from 6 to 9. It's we're going to give you a stocking. Do not bring your own. We're going to provide you with a specific size stocking.
Okay, yeah.
Anything you can fit into that stocking, 20% off.
Oh, wow.
And you get a free cocktail. Going to have some sweets out. It's going to be awesome.
So you're back to full strength Fairvilla is what I'm hearing.
Oh, yeah.
The old school cocktail party walk, the mingles,
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
I feel like you could put a lot of expensive things in a stocking.
Yes, if I walked around the store today and was thinking about, okay, if I were a shopper, what would I put in there? Because you cannot take it out of the box. If lingerie, don't be trying to take it out of the box or shove it. It needs to stay on whatever form it's in, whatever packaging, however.
This isn't for you. You're
okay?
like that. Yeah, you're too like crooked. You're too crooked and scammy. You'll be like you're taking everything out of the packages. You'll be folding things and stuffing them in the toe. This isn't for you. This is for people that like rules and boundaries.
And I tell you what, I think having made stockings for so many years, like for my kids, like I was just walking through with the system. Okay, these little items are gonna go down in the toe of the stocking, and then after that I'm gonna build up.
You sound like my wife. This is how Andrea is with the stocking.
I have it.
Do you know Andrea took me stocking shopping? It's an ordeal.
So where do you even go to buy that?
Like 4 different stores. We what Deborah's saying. There are things that go in the toe. There are things that go on the sides.
Yep.
There's things that go inside the stocking. Then there's little sprinklings that go on the top. And there's an order to it. It's like orange in the toe, nail files down the side, nail polish on the top, candy in the center, gummy bears on the edges. Like there's
orange. Who knows stinky
orange in the toes.
No one wants an orange.
It opens up the stocking. You got to put something in the round in the toe to open the stocking up.
No, you put that ball that I see on TikTok that flies up and
Oh,
it
I
comes back
saw
to
I want the punching.
Waking up on our
bought that.
algorithms.
I want that punching ball that I see all the celebrities doing, and then they have the score up on their TV, and I'm like, look at their mansions.
The boxing.
Yeah, the boxing ball. Have you seen that?
No, I know.
And then it's like, who's doing this? Is that John Stamos? And he's punching the ball. And then on the back of it, it's like 18, 19, 20, 21. And he's like, I won.
Oh man, now I
Yeah.
gotta go search it.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll find it.
Deborah, let's talk about some of the stuff you brought in today.
Yeah. So I brought kind of a random sampling. One is we do have some themed items for the holiday, of course, because we have to. We did bring in some new ornaments. They're not the ornaments that you might remember. They're not quite that aggressive, but they are a little bit naughty.
Oh,
And
the ornaments were those bears, right?
No, they were all different things, but they were very naughty.
Oh, they
weren't bears.
a little too naughty? Or
Yeah,
not?
well, not everybody could probably put that under their tree.
Sure, yeah.
But,
like you got an elf with a full priapism.
Yeah,
You
there's some
can't-
stuff happening there.
I had to think of a word that I could say.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Priapism is
Priapism.
better than,
Yeah, so we have a little Kiss Me Under the Mistletoe Santa, a little bit risque. We have a Nutcracker.
Okay,
This Santa's got the mistletoe in his penis.
Santa with his pants
His
down.
package. His
and,
package.
And then
if I think you'd be arrested if you did that, right?
oh, yeah, I know. Well, it depends on where.
Yeah.
Wait, look, his butt's out.
He does have his booty
Yeah,
out.
he has his boot. That's a
But
well
these are
made. This
fun,
is
right?
porcelain. It's
It
handmade,
actually is
it's like a
heavy.
handmade porcelain.
Oh, wow, it is heavy.
And this could be a fun gag gift too. If you're going to a party where you can kind of
Oh,
mix
this
it up.
This one, he's got his foot straight up the other nutcracker's rear end.
It is, the Nutcracker.
Yeah, he's like he's cracking his nuts.
And he's saying, "Kiss me under the mistletoe," and then, I know what's under
Yeah.
there. Santa.
I've seen the Pete Davidson
Pervert.
Manscaped ad.
Um,
Roasted toast.
Are they boofing each other?
No, he's kicking. The one nutcracker is using his wooden foot to kick
crack
his nuts.
I didn't think that was a foot. For a second, I thought it was.
Wow.
Oh, it
That's
does.
impressive.
Yeah, it does look
Put
like
your glasses on top.
I remember my grandma when I used to go over to my grandma's house.
Okay.
My grandma Momet.
She has some dirty ornaments.
And she was French
Don't
Canadian.
touch Grandma Mama's ding dong ornaments.
So she wasn't a redneck like the rest of my family. She was
fancy.
She French Canadian. And anyway, she had in her living room there was a light switch, and on the light switch was an old timey like scuba diver from the 1920s, like the iron helmet and the whatever. And then it was a drawing of him, and then where his wiener would be was the light switch.
Yeah.
And then I remember every time I went over to her house, I was like, why does Mama have this? It just didn't make any sense to me as a kid. I was like I know what that is. It's the wieners is a switch.
My dad had one of those too.
I was like, why did she choose to put
Was
this
it
on?
her? Was it perhaps her husband?
Hey,
or-
No, it's probably her.
No, it could have been her husband.
My
It
dad
probably
had one
was.
of those, but his was just a man, just
why
like a
did she-
regular man.
Yeah, why
like
did she
smoking
let
a
it?
cigarette or
Why did
something.
she let it happen?
Yeah. Also,
why'd your mom let it happen?
well, what I like doing to make my dad mad is I would flip it upside down, so when you turn the light off, the man was standing on his hands with an erection. All the
Sorry,
time.
Deborah.
Yeah.
What else have we got?
Roast and toast. I do have the Snowman Roast and Toast mug, which I think is pretty cool. Again, under $30. Fun little gift.
Yeah.
You guys have seen all our Roast and Toast.
Yeah.
So that's
These are
always a good
super
time.
well made, and they're super fun. And for the cannabis and coffee drinker in your household, which I know you've got one or the other, it's got a little carb on the top.
I like when you're drinking out of it in the morning and you don't have any weed or anything, but you could tell where it's all burnt up in the front.
There's resin on the edges.
Yeah, the all dirty and burnt up in the face. You burn his nose.
It's been a rough
paint
week.
off,
It's been a rough week.
And you're
Yeah.
drinking coffee and everything. You're like,
Yeah.
my God, how many times have you smoked on that thing? You don't have a regular one-hitter use.
God, get some of that Tommy Chong bong cleaner.
This is like once a year you break out the old snowman roasted
And you
toast.
melt off his face.
Yeah.
just like
If you
that.
were single, you could pack it and leave it out for Santa.
You're
you know?
using that every day. I'm sorry, Deborah.
It
I
could
like
just
that
be
one.
decor, okay?
True, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they collect them. Like most of the people that I know that have a lot of like marijuana apparatus, they're just collecting them.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, I love my gumball poodle socks, and they do have a new one for holiday, and it says Merry Fitmas and Happy New Year. So I don't know. It's goofy. It's funny. It's not too aggressive.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
There's a lot of corporations that do holiday sock day.
We wrote a commercial for one of them.
Exactly.
Corporations love holiday sock day. It was their favorite
And
thing.
don't forget on Friday,
Yeah.
to go along with our pizza party sponsored by Papa John's,
Yeah.
it's wear your craziest holiday socks.
And then I'm like, oh God, you know.
Do you have any?
No, I don't.
You gotta have one pair.
But then I'm just like, why can't we just do our jobs? Why does it have to be holiday sock day? Because then inevitably I'm sitting there in my cubicle, and then the boss walks by and
Let me
then
see your
looks,
socks, man.
yeah, then looks down, and then I don't have any holiday
Oh,
socks.
he sent you home.
And,
I'd send you home.
He just makes some passive aggressive comment about how, like, all right, I guess you don't want to be a part of the team. And it's like, why does it have to be this? I do
I
my
think
job.
we know where the weakest link is here.
Yeah. I'm just like, why does me wearing holiday socks? And then the person.
It shows that you're down in the foxhole with everybody else.
Yeah, but the person 3 cubicles down, she's got the holiday socks and the whole reindeer antlers.
I
and,
like her more.
And then I'm doing 10 times the sales that she's doing.
How would I
but
know
why
that?
Does it, but the boss like, Deborah, I love the antlers and the holiday
Did
socks.
you just name the fictional lady, Deborah?
Yes.
Did you catch that?
Yes, I did.
That's how
have to
little
look-
imagination he has left. He had to look around the room. He's like, oh, Deborah. Deborah's here.
Well, I am
What do you
dressed
gotta
up
be
today.
table and then a bullhorn, which didn't fit.
How dare you give the promotion to Bullhorn? She's only been here 4 weeks.
Sorry, Deborah.
Oh,
What else
goodness.
we got?
This
I'm
guy
gonna
needs a
cry.
Christmas. This guy needs a Christmas.
I was thinking about you guys because
This is what Tom's mom would get him every single holiday.
boxers.
This,
No.
in fact,
Boxers,
this
right?
is old school Tom at the radio station,
Yeah.
editing, wearing a Dolphins hat. And there's 2 things I knew this man would have on. He'd have on a Dolphins hat, and then he'd have on a pair of novelty holiday or Austin Powers boxer shorts.
Well, we can add to that collection. It's
Are those
probably time-
Shynasties?
So this is a new company for us. Yes, they are Shynasties.
Yeah, we've
So
worked
the
with
ball
them.
pouch. Did you?
Tom
okay.
and Dan have worked with that, and they have the pouch you like, dude.
They do have the pouch, and we have full-size runs at all the stores right now. And we have the holiday selection, which I think are hilarious. There's subtle hint there. If
Oh,
you
they're
can,
boobies.
They're boobs, yeah.
I did just notice that.
Yeah. So, and they're so soft.
These are the
It's
ones
like-
you like, dude. These are those super
Now
expensive
Tom does like a
ones.
holiday
Look,
boxer.
and it's got a pouch that you hang your boys on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
Well, there's
How
You
does
just got to
that
get
feel?
used to it.
Do you have to
know
get-
it's going to be a little bit different, but
It's like
it'll
a
keep-
thong for a ladies, right? Like you got to get used to it. I feel like you can't. You're not just born with floss down your rear.
I feel like this would feel better for the guys. No,
Yeah.
It's
more
supposed
support.
to be supportive
It's
and
supposed
also to keep it dry.
and to keep it from crushing them.
I didn't think about that.
like, but the pouch is.
Oh, it's high.
Yeah, it's high and it's
Tight,
it's
high and tight.
It's large, and that's the thing
Do
here.
you
Yeah.
What-
have a
what's it?
small package?
Well, I'm saying
got tiny
This
balls?
is going to get detailed.
you don't need a baseball glove to catch a dandelion.
My dad used to say that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the pouch.
Yeah.
There's too much engineering in it. I don't need it that aggressive.
It's one pouch fits all.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem is that then you have a baggy pouch. You don't fill
well,
it
then
out.
you need
Yeah.
that if you have a baggy one.
That's like a woman wearing loose boots. You ever
sorry,
heard that?
Deborah.
Lil Rel on the show, Lil Rel show. He has a show about the women that wear loose boots. Look it up.
what is that supposed to
Just
be?
look it
Deborah?
up.
All right.
Sinbad's in
Everybody's
the
gotta
show.
look it
God
up
bless
now.
him.
Another style. These are very naughty gingerbread men.
Oh, they're doing it.
Yeah, in some incriminating
Yeah,
positions.
these gingerbread men are straight. I mean, they're going for it.
They're naughty.
I started watching the Ginger Dead Man last night. Whoa.
What'd you think of that?
What is that?
Wait,
Wow, I
this
have
is a
not
smaller
heard of
pouch.
that.
That's a smaller pouch.
See, I was gonna say that pouch does look a little bit smaller on that.
Yeah, that's a
design.
smaller pouch. And then they go in here, right?
Yeah. But then the front, there's a lot of material there, you know, and then
Does
like
everything go in the pouch?
I'm not. Yeah, I think everything.
There is information on the tag and also a QR code. So if you want to go to their website,
Yeah, I'm
learn a
definitely
little
gonna,
bit more
yeah.
about the product.
We're
you
gonna
certainly
check.
can.
We're gonna check that out. But those are Shynasty brand. Those are the Tom and Dan Hawaiian shirts we did about 4 years ago. That's all that brand.
Can I admit something to you guys? I do not know how to use QR codes.
QR codes.
You called them QR codes. Is that the kicker for the Atlanta Falcons?
Whatever the hell they're called. When I see it,
QR.
I don't know what the first move is, and I have to remember
camera.
Yeah.
Camera,
but
yes.
it never dawns on me to always go to the camera.
So you just stare at it real hard, hoping your brain will activate the website?
You just hold the phone up and hope for the best.
I look in the middle, hoping that it has a
magic
website.
eye. You do the magic eye. He's trying to make the sailboat pop out.
All right, what's next?
Since we're talking
I
apparel,
hope that was a joke.
No, there were no jokes on this show. You're on the wrong show, lady.
This is commercial time. Oh,
I forgot.
Can you read the
idiot.
email from the guy and stop? I'll stop interrupting.
So while we're talking apparel, I know I brought some last time, but we have a ton of holiday seasonal apparel. This one could also carry over for Valentine's. This style where you're basically have
Underboob.
a tie around the boob, though, unwrapping your boobs is like the #1 style we sell.
It's a functioning unwrappable bow.
Yeah, unwrap that bow.
Oh my
and
God.
And this does come in a 1-piece as well. This is a 2-piece bikini type set. Exactly.
Tom just went.
Free the nipple.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do. He's got one.
He thinks it's a QR code. He's just staring at it.
What if you only can tie the bottoms? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like an old grandma. Yeah, my mom. My mom would just put her boobs in those. My dad would have actually asked for the top to tie it around his eyes, so he'd have to look at my mom.
This is
I'm interrupting.
It's Christmas.
I'm constantly interrupting with just lowbrow jokes.
And by the way, that's not a terribly expensive garment either.
It's
So,
really nice.
no.
Now, Tom, I'm going to blow your mind because I know you didn't see this, but I saw it. Pick it up and look at
He's
the
looking
bottom.
to buy that for later.
I can't believe how cheap this is. Like,
Wait, you don't have your glasses on. Are you sure it's the right amount?
no.
I saw you squinting wrong.
$34.99.
It's crazy.
It's $35.
Yeah, and it's all sequins and
I believe
satin.
it's
That's a
Dante,
good
too.
stocking stuffer. Put that in.
Yeah,
there.
that's not
Yeah.
bad. You might want to get in one of them.
Yeah.
How many? You got a lot of those?
Yeah.
I think we can sell a lot.
And we
of
also have a
those.
1-piece that does the same thing. It's just a different variation of
And
it.
ladies, this
Cute
is the
little
store you
skirt.
want to go to because all sizes, curvy, big girls, the girls that got that ass, the stuff that we like. You go to Fairvilla, you don't go online. You go to Fairvilla so you can get the right fit.
I'm not joking. I was staying with my buddy Turkey Leg this weekend in Miami, and he showed me a pair of Encanto Mickey ears that he got for his daughter, and then he's like, "Guess how much these were?" And
They're an old man. Chronicles of an old man.
They were plastic and like painted like Encanto Mickey ears.
Yeah.
$35.
Yeah.
And $35.
Well, Sam knows that. That's why
Yeah.
she doesn't buy them anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Expensive.
You buy them at
Yeah.
the resale shop,
Oh,
or
Yeah, and I remember we went to the thrift store. And you're like Mickey
Yeah,
ears,
for
and
like $2.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
why she bought 'em.
I
You
didn't
can
know
make
why
money.
you were excited about that.
They're brand new.
$35.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and
It's a
again,
racket.
the staff at Fairvilla, you know, that's again where you're going to excel. You're going to go and you're going to find somebody who's knowledgeable about the brands that fit your body style the best. And again, a lot of these brands you've been working with for decades.
Long time.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
what else you got?
Everybody kind of likes gift sets around the holidays, and we do have gift sets as well, all kinds of different ones. But I did bring one that was focused a little more on the guy, and it's a fleshlight gift set. This is not a realistic fleshlight, which is kind of nice.
It's a see-through version, like an old
Yeah.
fossil
Oh,
watch.
so you can look at
It's
yourself.
an old fossil watch, so you can see how the sausage is
So
made.
it's combo pack. It comes with lubricant and a cleaner, and it's under $80. And
wow.
and for fleshlight, like usually one fleshlight is $80. So
Yeah, Fleshlight is sort of they're the big boy brand, right?
yeah, they're one of the biggest name out there when it comes to self pleasure for
This
guys.
one's called Torque Ice.
Torque Ice.
Now,
Fleshlight Go.
It's a stamina training unit.
I don't know if I want to see.
God, I'm going to start calling masturbation sleeves that. It's a stamina training unit.
Exactly.
I don't know if I want to see what's going on in there.
Right, I know.
I'm sure that we have some kits that will.
Yeah.
Also...
What do you want? You want all black, smoked? You want like smoked?
Don't look at it.
He likes his.
This is a good white elephant Christmas gift. Because you imagine if you go to your Christmas party and you're like,
it's embarrassing though if you keep it because then everyone knows.
Not for me because I don't care. It's only embarrassing if you care.
Tom wouldn't keep it. He'd want it, but he wouldn't keep it.
No, he would keep it. He would just slide it under the Christmas tree, and then everybody go off to get the turkey legs and food, and then he'd kick it over to the door, kick, and then kick it out of the door, over into the bushes, and then pick it up on and walk to his car.
There you go.
Yeah, because this will change your life. If you've never, I've had the unique pleasure of owning a fleshlight in the past.
Yeah, this is coming from TV. This is coming from TV.
Because one time Deborah left us a fleshlight, and then me and Daniel eyed it
years ago.
For months. We eyed it, and I finally just took it home.
You
and
did.
Daniel knew I took it home because
I didn't
for
say
sure
a word.
he didn't say a word. That's the businessman's
That's,
agreement.
as Hulk Hogan would say,
No way, brother.
Yeah.
That's the bro code, bro.
Yeah. Then, but I didn't maintain it properly, and then it got mildew dots on the top.
But you could buy a replacement sleeve.
I put it back into the plastic bag to try to hide it from my wife after I used it.
I don't even want to tell you what I do. It'll make you sick. I take mine out, I wash it, I dry it, then I redust it with cornstarch because I'm crazy.
That is the way you're supposed to do
I know.
it.
I do that.
Cornstarch.
I get
Yes.
up. I swear to God. Look, Sam's looking at me like crazy. Tom
That is
thinks
the
I'm
way
an
you're
insane
supposed
person.
to treat that material.
You get done with it.
Yeah.
You rinse it. You get you
Dry it
pat
out.
it dry. I don't even use a paper towel because it gets a little dusties on there. I don't like that. I use a cloth, like an IKEA towel, and then you redust it with cornstarch.
We've trained you well.
Yeah, and then you put it back in the bag, and it stays nice and dry. And
I smell the mildew dots, but I'm like, oh.
You got a thing for mildew.
That's why you need the clear.
Let
You
me
don't even
just
need to
say-
see right through it. It's like the refrigerator with a window in the front. You're like, we're out of orange juice.
They have made a dryer. We don't have it in stock yet, but I think that is something that we're looking to bring in.
Loud as hell. What are you doing in there, Tom?
Well, like snowboard boots. You stick your flashlight.
And it blows out. The lips are flapping all around.
Like that.
Flop, 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 flop. Okay,
All right,
what
there you
else?
go.
Sorry.
Now let's kind of move into some stocking stuffers and some ideas. You know, what is really nice is that this is a good opportunity to try different types of like topicals, different types of get sample size lubes, right? And then you can just mix and match. We have even a on some of the flavors, we have seasonal like a cooling peppermint. We have a topical, it's called Orgasmics for women. So all of these little sample size, just get a bunch of them, throw them in there so you can mix, and experiment, and have a good time. So it's a perfect time. We also have little combo packs of flavored lubes. This one is champagne and strawberries. That could be great. Could
Happy
also-
New Year.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Throw it in there. It's a
Is
little
that
New
Joe?
Year's thing.
Yeah,
It's System Joe.
I don't have my glasses. That stuff's good. The System Joe
Yeah.
stuff is like top quality.
I've brought that in for years,
Yep.
and it continues to be one of our #1 brands. And so for like $26, you get a really nice. These are decent sized bottles of some really fun flavored lube. So
It
these
takes
are
a
great.
lot for me. I need like just tons.
I want there to be a real System Joe, so we can walk in the room and be like, I'm System Joe. I make lube.
You've never met Joe?
here.
Oh my
He's
God.
here.
The system's here.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can call me Joe.
And then like one of my favorite products, because I always bring it in, is Coochie shave cream.
Oh, the
Oh,
shave cream.
okay.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something else. I was like, she's human
I gave it
trafficking.
a little gap there for you.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
but-
see what you did there.
See, so the sample sizes. Always
My wife
great.
loves this
Perfect.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's good. It's a shaving stuff. And
it's a really conditioning shave cream.
Little known ACT trivia fact: the original name of the show
true.
was originally going to be the Coochie Cutters.
we should have stuck with it.
Which we wanted so
Yeah,
bad.
we wouldn't be in trouble right now if all of our shows were named the Coochie Cutters.
Yeah. And that, and we sent that to Jack in a professional email.
with a logo.
Signed
To Jack.
the
With a
Coochie
logo.
Cutters.
It was
Yeah.
a big ass
Yeah.
in jean shorts with drippy green letter. It just said coochie cutters.
Yeah.
We were on a trip with Orlando City when we wrote that. We
God.
mistakenly asked the CFO of Orlando City what he thought of the idea, and he said we were stupid.
God, we would have been
Were
so
you
rich.
drinking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course we were.
I was drinking at the airport.
If we only imagine 10 years
Cutter
of the
Dan and Cutter
Tom.
the Cutters.
Oh, no, sorry.
Also, we have cute little paddles and slappers that can also go down in a naughty stocking.
Slappers.
Super, super simple. This is by Rouge. And I think all the stores have these too. It's $12. Like,
Are you a
that's good.
slapper? Are you a slap happy guy?
It makes a good noise.
You do that sometimes. Sometimes I'm tempted. Sometimes I'm tempted when I look at my wife and I see her face and she's like, ecstasy face, and sometimes I just want to take my hand up to her face and just go,
Not on their face.
just slap like,
yeah,
wake up.
I've seen the videos.
Yeah.
And then somehow there's a technique where you do a couple soft
it's
ones
like- yeah, it's a
and
little-
then one hard one.
Yeah,
You're like, whoa!
It's like,
Yeah, it was like, and then I'm like, oh! And then I look
Yeah,
at
is she all right?
to see if she's mad.
No,
And
she's
she
fine.
likes it.
She's fine.
I'm like, how is she not
She's
mad?
tough. That's System Joe.
I'm like, if I just reached up and slapped Crystal.
Oh my God. I could never do that.
A couple
I could never
small
do
ones.
that.
and but maybe she wants it. I don't know.
I don't ask her. Ask her.
Like, can I slap you? Is that the way you
Yeah,
That's
you
the way
gotta
you
get
say that.
consent.
But I don't even know
Yeah.
if I want to do that.
No, you whisper. You go, can I slap you?
Like, what's in it for me?
You got to like that. If you don't like it, then don't do it.
Okay,
Don't
all
do
right.
it. All right, what else you got?
Couple other ideas on stocking stuffers or small gift ideas. Everybody kind of really loves the air pressure and suction, and we have a very compact version that's priced right. It's under $60. It's by Voodoo, and it's called the Bezo XOXO, and it's just a compact air pressure device, handheld, very, very compact, so easy, and this would fit in a stocking. I'm telling you guys, if you want to come to the store and and,
there's
you
your
know,
hint of the
this
show.
is a great
Yeah.
introduction to that whole air pressure feeling.
Yeah. If you want to
So-
try the womanizer does it, a lot of other products do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe the womanizer is a little out of your reach right now. And like I said, this would be a great way to try it. And I'm pretty sure this guy's going to fit into our Stuff Your Stocking Happy Hour.
There you go. Again, second clue.
Yes, so just saying that. And then I've got two new items that
One of
think
those I'm
are
laughing
super
at
cool.
because the one of them is almost like, I'm sure it's functional, but it also
is so
looks
very
like
functional.
a novelty because I'm sure it's flying off the shelves like crazy.
Yeah, it sold out when we first brought it in, and we just got another massive shipment of it. And I think that it's going to be like the top seller for our Christmas. And that is, we'll go ahead and talk about it, is the Magic Wand came out with a micro wand. It's completely
How
functional.
cute.
Is that not cute? I mean, honestly,
it
hanging on the
almost-
tree.
Yeah, it almost looks like it does. It looks like an ornament.
Yeah.
And everybody's, you got an ornament. You're like, no, this thing will blow your shoes off.
It's just like a little version of the Mini. It has completely rechargeable, multiple function.
That's really
Isn't that
neat.
cute?
Yeah, that is cool.
I have always looked at the traditional white wand that
Yeah,
you
that's
know, like
it.
from the 90s.
Yeah.
That and I've thought to myself, why is it so big?
Yeah.
Like it's the
Powerful.
Yeah, why does it
size. No,
look
it doesn't
like
need to be that big.
It doesn't need to look like Andre the Giant's karaoke microphone.
Well, fortunately, motors have gotten better and better, and we've shrunk them in size, so you don't have to have the mega-sized wands, although some people still prefer them, and we sell a lot.
Some people need them.
So it used to be the Hitachi one. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah,
now
okay.
the brand is Magic Wand, and they have multiple versions, some that still plug in, some that don't. And they came out with a Mini, which was wonderful, and now they have this micro. And I think, this is fun. This is compact. It's a good travel partner. It's everything you really want it to be. So I would want this in my stocking.
Yeah, it's like definitely.
Can I buy this from you cash right now?
I happen to have one in the package right here. And
You just pulled it out. Like, are you guys
I
doing a
want
bit?
this.
$40 cash.
1 year warranty on it.
Wow.
It's silicone head on it. It's awesome.
That-
Awesome pocket size.
Yeah, it's funny too because I think that one is one of the ones. It's almost become like the Hitachi wand, the Magic Wand. It's almost become like it's like a punchline in movies.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
iconic. Like it's beyond like most people know exactly what it is. You see the silhouette of it, and you're like,
Yeah.
I know what that is.
Yeah. And then finally, if maybe you have some product, but you're looking for something a little fancier, a little more maybe upscale, a little high quality motor, something that is unique. It's called the Duet, and this is by Crave. Crave is, remember the necklaces I brought?
Yeah.
Same company. And these are super cool. It's USB rechargeable. The bottom comes apart from the top. There's actually 2 motors in the tips.
It looks like a lobster claw.
But feel it. I've got it on for you.
And so
wow.
is that the design of 2
like a tuning fork.
Yeah.
It is a little bit like a tuning fork. In fact, that's what I affectionately call it. Completely warranted.
You want a freestyle, Tom?
So the tuning fork design, is that new to the toys?
Not necessarily. I think that
like
they've had some out.
Like tongs?
You can use that in multiple areas of the body.
It's like chopsticks. Use it like chopsticks, Tom.
To provide.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It vibrates my fingers. No,
How's it feel? Does it feel good? Because you got it promotes blood flow in your hands. What if every morning you had to warm up by holding 2 dildos?
There you go.
You're like,
I can make it happen.
So I've never understood the vibration. Because
that's like the main thing that all of them have, right?
No, I know, but it's weird to me because it's like something that's not necessarily natural in the natural environment. But it's
so
like
you're
a
saying
hack
because we don't vibrate.
Yeah. Like if I understand if all of a sudden I got really horny. I'm sorry, Deborah. But then all of a sudden my genitals sort of like
like a tuning fork,
yeah,
like a tuning
dragonfly wings,
like a hummingbird,
and then
not like a dragon, but like a hummingbird.
Yeah, like a hummingbird or whatever. So
you're a horny hummingbird, and your wings start going.
Yeah, and then
think
follow my logic.
My wife yesterday at the dinner table.
Your wiener's gonna start vibrating.
Yesterday at the dinner table, my wife said Tom has so many mental problems. My wife said that to me. She said, he has so many mental problems.
She say that?
I go, you have so many mental problems. You're just like it.
No, but my point being, I can understand if that happened naturally to men, and then they found products that emulated that, and then so they're like, that's why women like it because this is a natural thing that happens, but only like to young men when they get really worked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then they have to.
So his question is like, I guess almost how did we get to vibration?
And
when
it works.
For years it was, I don't know who was the first to come up with a vibrator, but I'm sure there's history on.
I think that was the first thing. It was like they realized.
To treat mania. Do you guys remember
Well, it was
that?
manual stimulation.
Yeah.
So just
Hands.
by hands, the motion of rubbing back and forth.
Yeah. I like things handmade.
And then it's like, oh, well, here.
Yeah, faster pace, vibration.
Yeah.
It works every time.
They got tired of doing that. Let's do something that's a little less work for a doctor. And ta-da.
There you go. That's how you get the tongs.
They used to go to a doctor like in the 1920s.
Yeah.
And then the doctor, what would he do?
You know.
I'm going to provide a book for you.
Was it a real doctor?
Yeah.
Or like,
I'm sure his methods were considered, out there, right?
And then women used to go there, and then the doctor would be like, all right, here we go.
Sit on my table.
They called it a pelvic finger massage.
That was a thing?
Yeah.
For chronic anxiety and mania.
Yeah.
You never knew that.
Why do you think
I go to the
therapist? Why do you think I go to a therapist?
Well, they don't do that anymore. It's illegal.
No, because we can buy our own.
That's
right.
right.
I know. But why?
I would Tom said they don't do that anymore. It's illegal. Because you can't assault your patient.
I would go to the doctor more if I walked in and said, I have anxiety. And she's like, here. I'd be like, all right.
No, well, that's why I
was like, this is great.
That's what Robert Kraft was doing, right? And they busted him.
He's got a lot of anxiety.
When you put it like that, I am Robert Kraft.
Anyway, is that it, Deborah?
Yes. I don't think I can go anywhere else for this conversation.
How's the new Palatka location going?
It is doing great.
Awesome.
It is wonderful. Sanford is killing it. People have really been coming there as well and enjoying that store. We're so appreciative. All the stores are doing fantastic. But yeah, stop by East Palatka if you happen to be up in that way.
Yep.
I'm sorry, the chat room, just somebody in the chat room that we know says, no lie, I worked with a guy at the Discovery Channel who said he was certified in P-word massages.
For anxiety.
For anxiety? Yeah.
When you get certified online, right?
Ross got certified.
Yeah. It's like an emotional support
I'm
animal.
going to start getting online certifications for everything.
Yeah, Ross does. Ross is a personal trainer now.
All right, Deborah, we appreciate you coming by. Thank you very much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, and to you guys too.
Merry
everybody
Christmas
at
and all
Fairvilla.
of that. Happy New Year.
Fairvilla.com for all locations. And we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
All right. Nice. That was a good job, y'all.
Fun?
Yes, ma'am. These are great things. I love the snowman.
Yeah, he's cool.
They've kind of stepped up their... it seems like their stuff has gotten, like, nicer.
Yeah.
Even the roast and toast.
I mean, I feel like we're so fortunate to have such a good relationship with them as well. You know, kind of...
Here you go. Here's an ornament, too.
We've talked to them for such a long time, helped give them some guidance. They really have been able to step into, like, the adult store world and expand their market share. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where's that go, Sam?
That is Wednesday 3.
Do we have any?
No, that'll be the first thing.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in, and we hope you guys have a great holiday.
Absolutely. So you said you guys are off the last week and the first week?
Yep.
Everybody staying close to home?
Pretty much, yeah. We were trying to figure out something to do after Christmas, but can't really think of anything. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I like going, I kind of want to just go to like someplace calming and just sit and make a fire and just sit around the fire and chill out. But as time ticks on, it becomes harder and harder to do that. You know, you run out of time to plan and prices go up. Booking at the last minute is hard. And thanks so much. I hope you have a great holiday. Please give everybody and all your staff and everybody some love from us. And thank them so much for always being so great to our guys.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Have a great New Year, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't really go do anything too crazy, so it should be good.
See ya. That was funny.
All right, so you want to go back and do Tuesday 2 and 4?
Yeah, let's do Tuesday 2 and 4, and then
Science Center should be here then.
Okay.
So we need 14 for 2.
We want to go back to voicemail emails, or do we have anything we want to?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Let's
see where it goes. All right. I'll bring us back. Is this a start or bring us back?
It'll be a bring back.
Bring back. Okay. Here we go. In 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do some emails.
All right, Sam. Emails it is.
Replacing holiday traditions. Feliz Navidad, Tom, Dan, Sam, and possible couch guests. My friend usually hosts an annual holiday Christmas Eve party, and I attended this holiday party for 12 plus years. This year, she might do the thinkable and stop hosting the party and instead have more quality time with her kids and grandkids. This makes me slightly bummed knowing a holiday tradition is coming to a close, but I'll be happy knowing that she'll be less stressed for the holiday season. Anyways, to my question. What are some holiday traditions that came and are to a close for you, and how quickly did or are you replacing it with another tradition? Hoping one day to replace turkey dinner traditions with barbecue or seafood.
That's a great question. Ties in perfectly, too, because you're making new ones. I like Miami Santa. I gave you crap about it, but I loved, and I was sorry to see it go away because I think the idea of it in the morning was really cool. The idea of
the meadow.
The meadow, and then your tree being outside, and then sitting outside like where it's maybe a little more crisp with a coffee with my family.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I was sorry to see that one kind of fade away because I thought the Christmas outside was cool.
It became
hard to
too
do,
impossible,
right?
really, especially with older kids. That was more of when the kids were, 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, or whatever they were. It's like easier to get away with that. And now it's like,
You're like two
Tommy's
little-
up before you
Oh,
are.
man, he's like a little adult.
They'll wake up, and then we realize that it's just so dewy, and like
all the wrapping paper's getting wet.
yeah, it's just all
it's just not ideal. Yeah, I get it.
and then not as enjoyable for everybody if it's just in the house and the kids get older. That was like some impromptu thing,
Yeah. I was sorry to see that one go, though, because I think it's kind of cool. There is something cool about the quintessential, and I think that's why I liked your tree being outside. I like coming down the stairs. Like, there is something, like, about living in a townhome.
Americana.
It is. Like, when you, like, because we're on the 3rd floor and the tree's on the 2nd floor, so it's separate. So that distance does elevate it, like, 15% better because you come down and everything's set up. So it's presented to you. That's why I liked, like, the kids open the door, the tree's outside, I don't know. I thought that was cool.
It's a better presentation of the display. Like, so this has been a thing, too, where our sons throughout their whole lives, like, and they do it barely at any time now, but would come to our bed in the middle of the night to sleep. So in the past, like, we just start them off in our bed in Christmas time because we're like, for sure they're going to wake up in the middle of the night and then blow the whole, like, first look, right? Like, there's always been a first look at Christmas.
It's important to parents. It is.
Where, like, you wait and then, because I never understood, like the parents, like, the kid that, like, went down early and then without the parents and, like, were
that
just
was me.
sitting there waiting, snooping through.
That was
like,
me.
And didn't get to, like, you didn't get to present, like, the Christmas to them in the, like, open the door or walk down the stairs and then you see all the presents. And
Andrea goes a step further in that we will all be on the 3rd floor and she'll go, okay, let me go down first to video you guys coming down.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like, she'll go down and then have the camera as we come down so she can get I mean, it's important, more important to moms and dads, but still important to dads. It is important.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's important, but it's important.
Well, it's the culmination of a lot of work and
of hard work.
money, and then you want, it's like you want it to,
do you have an order that you do the presents in tradition-wise?
No.
Do you let them choose, or?
It's usually, and this is like in when I grew up, there was like one major. It was like the quintessential bicycle with a bow on it, or some sort of like one big thing.
The big present, yeah.
And then a series of other things, but the big present was already put together and like ready to go. It was charged or whatever.
Yeah.
So like not in the, like never in the box where you had to wait, and it was like ready to go.
Ready to go. Yeah.
And that's important.
That's the Santa gift.
Yeah.
Traditionally.
And although,
oh man, half the Christmases we had to put everything together.
Yeah,
unbox everything,
well,
put it together.
Last minute daddy. Yeah.
But
no, we got free church.
That's
yeah. And this is more.
And we had to put all our stuff together.
Oh, that's the Brad Paisley. He's doing.
They didn't buy the
year.
batteries either, so you had to wait till they went to the store to get the
Batteries are
Oh, yeah.
expensive as hell. That's the most expensive part. I'm trying to think if we. Again, I need to formulate more of these style traditions. I need more of these,
But you just have to wait till they organically happen and then look at that and be like, all right, we'll do that every year because that worked. And that's usually how traditions are formed.
Yeah.
Like, because there's lots of stuff that we've, I've tried and then it's just like, nah, that kind of landed flat.
Yeah.
And but then you find one thing and you're like, all right, let's replicate that every year.
Like I go in, one of ours, I guess that's silly, and I'd be interested to see what our listeners think. But we have to go in a circle, and it's just the way we've always done it. And we do it when Andrea's parents come there and they exchange gifts, and we do it with ourselves when we exchange gifts. It's not like a free-for-all. It's like Maisie will go and get all the gifts, and there's not going to be a lot for me and Andrea because we've already decided not to. But it's like she'll go and like her gifts go in a pile, and all my gifts go in a pile, and all Andrea's gifts go in a pile.
And do you open them one by one, or she opens all hers first?
No, we go in a circle. So it's like Maisie will start, then Andrea will go.
But does she start with all of them?
No, she does one.
Okay.
It's a one, and you move on to the next person.
Yeah, like
okay.
one.
Yeah,
gotcha.
so then normally, and this always happens, and let me hear you dads, because this is going to happen. Dads always end up, we end first, because we don't get the most gifts. So like for me, I'll get like maybe 3 or 4 things, you know, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm all out of gifts. So that'll be my cue to go get my coffee.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So now Maisie's continuing, so I'll go get my coffee, and then I'll come back and I'll sit there, and then I'll get a garbage bag, and I'm on garbage bag and paper duty, right?
Yeah.
That's
then
what Dad's
loading
doing.
it in the
yeah, and then
trash
Dad's just
bag.
stuffing it in there. I'm trying to get Dansby to quit eating all the bows, and he's like being bad.
Then I start looking around. I'm like, my God, it's too much.
Yeah, we don't even need this.
Consumerism and money and waste of.
I love how you start with opening the doors and you want to see their faces
I'm like,
because you have so much work and money, and then it's
hot.
no, it's all trash.
And then it's like,
Well, I
yo,
get
End of it.
disgusted by it. I'm like, so much plastic pieces.
Man, what a turnaround in a day.
Oh yeah, and because then I look at all the presents. I'm like, this is gonna like you're gonna play with that once. That's gonna end up in the playroom in a pile of other plastic Chinese garbage.
Yeah.
and then it's just gonna be I'm like all this stuff is just a waste. We should be spending this money on experiences. That's what I'm so screaming that. Where's my flag? Anyway.
It's got to be here somewhere.
So
yeah, so that's pretty much my. I don't really no, we don't really have that many. I'm trying to think of any that have come and gone. I'll give you one that's kind of sad that's gone, is because it's sort of a pain in the butt. Is my mom and dad left me their, and it's antique at this point, and some of the pieces are retired, but it's a snow village.
Oh yeah.
And I have it's
love a
from
snow
the
village.
What is it, Department 56 or whatever the one. But there was one that they did that was officially licensed by Dickens, and that's the one I have. And they roll out new pieces every year, and they retire certain pieces. And I have tons of pieces of it because it was my dad's pride and joy. But man, those little pieces of porcelain are pains in the ass. They're in little styrofoam boxes, and then the boxes are carved for the piece.
Yeah.
So getting them out of the box takes like 10 minutes just to slide it out of a piece of styrofoam. Then you got to put the light in it. You got to pinch it and put the light in. Then you run all the cords, and you got to put down, like my dad would have like a million cotton balls everywhere.
Oh, my grandma had this.
Yes. It's very popular.
We got a couple, yeah.
Yeah, it's very popular. I'm not yucking on anybody's yum. Look, I love it.
It is
just,
annoying.
I can't. My
get it
dad
out.
collected so many pieces. He's got Scrooge. He's got all the ghosts. He's got the Cratchit house. He's got the graveyard where Scrooge goes and sees his own grave.
Where do you put
That's
this
awesome.
all? On
He's
the
got
dining room
do
table?
you want it?
Sure.
I mean, look.
If you're not going to use it.
It's got the ice skating rink where the skaters go. It's got the carolers. I've got all, like I told you, all the ghosts. I've got the store where the goose is hanging, where the kid gets and the Scrooge goes, hey, go get the goose.
You've got to set it up every year.
Come on.
Your dad would have wanted it.
Oh, yeah. He's
You
mad
have that giant dining room table.
That's where we used to put it, but
Yeah.
it's such a pain in the butt, man. It is such a pain in the butt.
Your dad would be yelling at you.
Yelling at me,
Dad,
Dad.
leave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Set it up.
Yeah,
You're
he was.
lazy.
I am lazy. And it's some of the pieces, like last year I dropped one of them. I broke the hand off of the Ghost of Christmas Future. Who's the one that's the fat guy with the torch? Who's dressed like
I think that's Future fat.
Yes, I remembered it.
Past
Yeah.
lean.
Yeah, I remember your name. Moley, Mexico. Yeah. But no, it's like I broke the hand off of one of them. I'm gluing it. It's super delicate. Maisie's always playing with it. Nah, man, I'm just like with everything else that I have that's meaningful from my childhood, I'm gonna sell it. Right?
The decorations, Crystal, we've got too many.
Oh, it's present, not future.
Oh, it's
Future is a Grim Reaper.
No.
It's coming to get
I
you.
forgot it.
Yeah.
Present's fat.
Yeah.
Future's Grim
Yeah,
Reaper.
I'm fat right now. I
You
will
get
be
fat,
dead.
then you die.
Yeah, what kind of Christmas tale is this?
The only one that's been
It's
around.
the truth.
We've got way too many ornaments. I don't know if
I
you
like
guys.
no, I like a lot of ornaments.
Because
I like an ornamented tree. I don't like any bare or sparse areas. To me, that's what gives off a crappy tree.
Yeah, but it's too much. Like there is a limit to how much. Like if, I'm not joking. I'll take a
I
picture
disagree.
of the tree.
Look at a department store tree. It's filled to literally not one branch without something hanging from it.
Yeah, but it's organized and.
Okay, well that I can't. Okay, you didn't say that. You didn't say that.
It's just like you poured a bunch of garbage on, like it just fell down the tree.
Okay.
And it's from the top.
Are they homemade? Because I do draw the line on I do not like homemade ornaments. They look like trash.
Oh, homemade Crystal has so many. She's got an ornament for our wedding invitation that someone chopped up and then put inside.
Oh my God!
Like
well, that's
clear,
just trash.
It's our chopped up wedding invitation inside a clear bulb, and then it's like confetti in there, but it's our original. Like
well, how
she
do
got
you
as a
know?
gift.
How do you know it's really the?
And then Lina,
I don't think it's the wedding.
Also, why are you chopping up my invitation?
No, but someone made it for family
That's
member.
So weird.
We
I
also
see what they're doing.
We got a Lina's paw, like a big like.
Well, that's not an ornament. That's supposed to go in a sock drawer or something for you to look at one day before you kill yourself.
No, it's turned into an ornament.
Well, that's your wife doing if you could hang a human head on a tree if you want to.
My mom, like every year, she gets this like van 2021, and then it's all the snowmen with our names on it, and then every year,
those.
but it's big and heavy.
Yeah, from Brookstone. Like pull the whole tree over.
Yeah, she's got one every year, and then like stop getting us. There's too many. Like they're not important anymore. Like we've got one from 2016,
I kind of agree with him, Sam.
And it's all like, and then like so all.
It's become a chore to hang them up because there's too many of them.
Then the kids each year, like when they were in preschool and kindergarten, they made like big construction paper ornaments.
I don't let Maisie hang those.
Like Crystal hangs them all.
No, I'm a heartless dad. I tell Maisie, I go, we're not hanging those up because they don't look nice.
Damn.
They don't present nice. They look like they were made by a child. And then she'll say they were made by me, and I go, I know they look like trash. We're not hanging those on the tree.
Yeah, and then
we have standards at this tree. This tree is supposed to look good. It's a celebration of Christmas.
I'm not joking. We've got between like 20 and 40 like handmade shell, like seashell ornaments
That's
that
trash.
because Crystal's grandma used to own a seashell store.
Oh man, the irony of her owning that, and then you knowing that somewhere down the line you're gonna have to say what she does, and you're terrified.
My granddaughter, husband will
never say what I do. He's terrified of what I do.
And then so we've got a bunch of like sand dollar snowmen, and then like
Rudolph.
The
tradition. Well, you got a Jimmy Buffett trash tree. You got a Jimmy Buffett. Oh, conch shell Rudolph.
And then it's all like pipe cleaner.
Conch shell Rudolph is coming to drink a Miller Lite. Conch shell Rudolph, he's got his bikini all tight.
And then I'm not joking. I'll show you a picture of the tree. I should tell Crystal to text me now.
Yeah, I gotta see
because
this
it's
thing.
too much. Because the regular
you gotta
bulbs.
purge. You gotta purge some of them.
There's not even room for regular bulbs.
You don't have any regulars on there?
No, I started putting regulars, and then Crystal's like, we don't have
No, save the room for the trash.
Conch shell Rudolph has nowhere to live at. Then I have to take off the regular bulbs, and then it's a whole trash. There's ornaments.
No, you got to do what I did. You got a regular tree.
It's the size of a construction paper. It's this big, and it's just construction paper with.
But that's not an ornament.
The boys made it. So
put it on the fridge.
No, you put that on the fridge or throw it away. Like we have an ornament tree that has the regular standards. Then we have an auxiliary tree to the right of it that is the homemade.
Oh, you have a second tree?
Well, it's not really. It's not really homemade. I don't allow that. But it's more of like the what do I call them? Goofy. Like where it's like a picture of us, or Maisie has one that's a piece of bacon because she loves bacon, or she has one that's a dancer.
The non-traditional.
The non-traditional whimsical ones that don't match anything go on the tiny tree, and then the big tree, I have it looking like we're at Macy's.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Because I like it to look nice in there. I don't like trash.
You don't like the full of trash?
I don't want a paw print of a dead dog. I don't want a piece of paper on there.
So many dead people's prints. The whole tree is dead people's
prints.
It's also, and then to top the tree, my aunt,
oh no, an old doll, some old rowdy doll, an old racist. What is it? An old racist?
No, like
is it an old mammy? Like an old black mammy? I know in your house it's gonna be something racist. It's Satchmo's face.
My aunt,
Willie Nelson's guitar.
Like when me and Crystal first got married, my aunt's like, I got you.
I'll give you this.
Your first ever tree topper. They call it a tree topper.
Yeah, it's an Adolf Hitler cookie jar.
That is what it's called.
And then it was in a hat box.
Oh no! My mom had one of these. Its face was all porcelain cracked. It looked like the scariest angel.
And then it's
terrifying.
It's a 1.5 tall,
spooky doll.
A lady in this ornate red dress.
It looks like she's trapped in there. She's trying to get out to consume another body.
It looks like a scary ghost lady.
Yes, my
And
mom had this.
Like
I sold
an old
I sold it.
ballroom ghost.
Yeah.
Ballroom ghost.
Yeah,
and then we have to, and then
and the
Crystal-
electricity, and it's all janky, and there's like, and you put that bulb in there, that gets hot as hell. It's gonna burn your house down.
Dude, and then one year I just got a regular star. Like
No,
a
Crystal's
light up
mad,
star.
mad.
No, well, then Crystal's like, what if your mom sees that you didn't put her sister's ornate, scary ghost lady on top?
You didn't put up the
And then-
racist ghost.
And then I'm like, no one cares. Let's just put a star up there. And so this spooky ass ballroom
Yeah, where the
dancer
porcelain's
lady.
falling off of it.
Yeah, and it's all like the moths is eating it. 20 years we've been married.
You know what I found is that, like, and I know we got to go to break. I found that I had my mom's, like when she passed away, it was the first thing I sold because people wanted it. It was like an heirloom.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh yeah, I want that. I'll give you like $500 for it. Because it was like worth something. I was like, oh, take it. It's a piece of ass. Get it out of here. Take it out of here. I don't need it. Well, what am I gonna? It's scary looking, right?
It is scary.
It is scary. It's better
What?
to go to somebody who collects scary angels.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. I got rid of it. It had a piece of aluminum foil behind it to keep the heat from burning the house down.
And what happened with the wings and a halo and just a white angel?
Yeah.
Not this
No,
other-
no.
You know, I mean white dress, not
Yeah, I know.
Oh, wow.
Bring white angels back.
Bring white whales back is what it sounded like you were gonna say.
All right, we'll be back.
All right.
Our guest is sitting outside.
In the
He's outside the studio. I gotta go get him. He was listening to that segment. I feel bad now. That was Tuesday 2. Tuesday 2.
All right, so will we have time to do that 10 minutes?
Good, good. Come on in. Is Jeff coming or just you? Okay.
How's it going, Jimmy?
Hey, thanks for being here, man.
Pleasure. How you doing?
Very nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
Hi, Daniel. Pleasure. Come
Thanks
on
for
in.
joining the
Anything-
chat room
anything
there.
drink or anything?
No, I'm all set. I was
Come on in.
knocking back a couple of adult Capri Suns in the
There you
public
go.
parking lot.
I like it. There you go. That's you right there. Appreciate you being here, man.
Oh, absolute pleasure. I've been a big fan of you guys for a long
Oh,
time.
right on.
Actually used to come into with the monster segment with you guys.
Oh,
with,
dig it,
Dr.
man.
Boone back in the day.
I apologize. I have met so many people that I'm not going to lie to you and act like I remember
No,
that.
it's all good.
It is all a massive blur in my brain because I've met so many people. But good to see you, man.
No,
And I believe that it happened because I couldn't tell you how many shows I did up there.
you told me that my beard looked like a rusty scrub brush and it stayed with me forever.
Oh
was so
my
mean to
god.
No, it's fine. It's
Did
all
you
good.
have a, like, it doesn't look very rusty right now.
No, well, I've been scarred for.
My God. You know how many people I meet that tell me, you were insanely mean to me? And I'm like, that's not true. You said that was 2, right?
Yes.
For today.
Tuesday. Yep. Today.
Excuse me. I'm going to make one little change. When was that? Just out of curiosity. How many years ago do you think that was?
That's got to be 2008.
No way,
No, it's got to be earlier than that because 2007, 2008.
Wow.
Way back in the day.
That's crazy.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me in here.
Oh, man. Our pleasure.
I mean, we could try and knock out the 10 minutes while we wait for Jeff.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all good.
Yeah, I guess we could do. You want to try to do 10 minutes, or I bet as soon as we start recording, Jeff's gonna walk in.
That's usually how it works. I'm just fixing Jimmy's camera here so he looks pretty. Looking good, man.
Thank you so much.
That camera's so much better than our old camera. All right. Yeah, whatever you guys want to do, man. I'm sorry again that today is weird. I have to get hip injections today, so I've never done that.
Really?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
What's that going to be like? What's going
They
on?
didn't tell me, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, because I mean we're at the stages now where it's like, well, everything's broken. We don't
Yeah.
quite know why. I don't want to Google.
It's got to
it
be like
because-
back injections, right? It's got to be like very similar to that, and that's like not bad. It's just
Yeah.
a needle, and they shoot some pain medicine in
Some
there.
feel-good
and-
juice right in there?
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. There's got to be a reason why they didn't tell me that much about it. It's got to be less invasive than the back one, because the back one they gave me like so many different like
Well, when they're dealing with your spine,
That's
the
kind of what
part.
I was thinking. Is
Your
that
hips, they could jab things down
it's
there.
exactly what I thought.
The spine, there's a lot of sensitive cords
Yeah,
in there.
it's like when they're jabbing your brain,
Mhm.
they're like, we got to give you the rundown. But if they're jabbing your nose, not a big deal.
Yeah. Your hips, you could shoot all types of stuff in there. It's fine.
Dan,
Right, Jimmy?
I've never
You
quite
know.
had the pleasure of that yet. I'm hoping to avoid it as long as possible.
Salty Captain John says, Dan didn't give me S for asking hotel advice. The guy who doesn't know QR codes told me to use the internet.
No. About what? When he's asking the BDM page, something obviously.
Oh, Twisted Movies doesn't have his glasses on. He thought this was Bam Margera we had on. Okay, this gentleman has got. I mean, like, although Bam has looked better, I'm gonna give him that. I've been following him along in his skate videos, and he's skating better. He looks better. He does look better, and he does look sober.
He's been working on himself.
I don't know if he is, but he looks it.
Yeah.
But we
I think
still
you
get
could tell.
so much crap about that video. So much crap about that video. Every day we get a new piece of hate mail.
Really?
Nah, he's exaggerating.
Yeah.
No one cares.
It's not real hate mail. It's like, you know, if you're just sitting on the potty, you know, and you fire off something hateful, is that really hate? Probably not. Right?
And also, you can't tell how they said it. So
I can tell.
It's just two birds with throwing the first stone. That's what you got going on right there.
Well,
we could have done that 10 minutes.
I told you.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Well, okay, let's do it.
F it, do it live.
All right.
You want to do it? Hold on. I'm fixing Jimmy real fast. I want to make him look better.
You guys were talking about ornaments a second ago in the segment up to this, and
You want to talk about that?
We can. I brought a little something for you guys. That'll be.
What?
Kind
He's
of
got a gun.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing to say.
Okay. Well, yeah. This won't be the actual segment, but
okay.
you could be
I'm okay
in this
with
with
it.
the
You want to bring us back?
Yeah.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Jimmy here from the Orlando Science Center.
Yeah.
Now, he'll be back tomorrow
Yes.
for a whole segment about paleontology
Little
and
down to his luck,
dinosaurs.
doesn't have a place to stay right now. We're going to let him crash in the studio overnight. We'll see him back here tomorrow.
But we'll talk ornaments right now.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy, you said you got something for us?
Yeah, I was hearing you guys talking about like your favorite Christmas ornaments and things like that, and all the way you want to decorate the trees. And it actually works out pretty nicely because I was so excited to come here with you guys today that I made you something a little special. So I have right here. These are some ornaments that I 3D printed for you guys that are based off of actual Tyrannosaurus Rex skulls.
Really?
So yeah, get you
Wow,
right here into
thank
this
you,
one.
man.
Now, Jimmy is a
One for you.
paleontologist.
I am, in fact, yes.
Yeah, like the real deal.
I'm a full-on dinosaur hunter. The reason that I'm crashing the studio is because I spend all my money on picks and daggers and things like that to go out into the field.
Let me get the glare off of it. Look at that thing. Oh, my daughter's going to freak.
Yeah, they're so cool. So that's based off of a Tyrannosaurus Rex that's actually up in Montana right now.
Wow.
And so it's one of the largest and most complete T-Rex specimens that we've, skulls at least, that we found. And I punched a bunch of holes in it and covered it in glitter. So Merry Christmas.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's dope, man. Thank you so much. That's really, really cool.
I got a new ornament to add to my trash. Now I have to take off a regular ornament, so there will be no more regular ornaments like store-bought. It'll be all homemade trash, just covering
I
my
like
tree.
that. Yeah, I love that.
We have 4 Christmas trees in our house right now, and one of my
Where
trees
do
is
you put
entirely
all these
dinosaur.
trees?
Well, I have a dinosaur studio where I do some of my own paleo work and things like that, and I have a full-size tree that's all covered in dinosaur stuff. A lot of, like old classic dino toys and things that
And
I've just
then one in
repurposed
the
and
living
stuff.
room.
One in the living room that's got all like the family, like the classic ones. And
Sure.
I don't touch that one. I look at it and I stay the heck away.
Where do the other two go?
And then there's another one that's in the kitchen. So my girlfriend has she loves the mid-century modern style.
Yeah.
So our kitchen where we never eat, but we just like look at it. It has all this like vintage 60s stuff. So that's where she's got like some classic ornaments, and it's very nice. And then she got another one in her office because she works remote. So
yeah, I
gotta add more trees.
I have 4 trees this year as well.
4 trees?
I have 4 trees.
You told me about the 2. Where's the other 2?
Yeah, where are your other 2?
My daughter requested her own that she decorated
in her room.
In her room, and she decorated it herself with her own ornaments, and it has a remote, so she lays in bed and
there you go.
flicks it on and off. And then we have one outside with ornaments on it that in the front of our house.
Yeah.
Like we have a whole outside tree. It used to be our indoor tree, but it got too old, so now we use it outside, and it still lights up and everything and looks crazy.
Is it artificial tree outside?
Both of them artificial, yeah. We have to do artificial because I'm a allergy man.
Gotcha. If you wrapped the lights and ornaments around an actual tree that happens to be like in your front yard, do you count that as one of the trees that you're doing?
I think you have to.
You have to, right?
It's got to be
my
dead.
palm tree, if my palm tree has lights, is that a Christmas tree?
Yeah,
that's a Corona commercial.
The Christmas rule is the tree has to be dead for you to count. It's got to be dead.
Oh my God, this guy.
No, the tree has to be dead. It can't be a live tree still
Why not?
planted. Just doesn't count. I didn't make the Christmas rules.
Who did? All right, he doesn't.
Well,
know.
Santa did.
Saturnalia tradition.
It's got to be
Take
dead.
it up with Santa.
Jimmy.
The dead trees only. All right.
And Sam, I didn't forget you either.
Oh.
Because I actually brought you something else special here. So this is one of the things that we do a lot in paleontology. We find really amazing specimens and things that we want to share with the world. But you can't take the same dinosaur bone all over the place, so we make copies and replicas of them. So I cast the claw of a Deinonychus, which is the dinosaur that inspired the raptors from Jurassic Park. It's this huge raptor kind of thing. And so I have a kit here that I made for you.
Cool.
It's a Deinonychus claw, and it's got a couple of paints and things like that, so you can make your own replica dinosaur claw the same way we do it in the field. And actually give you the whole steps on how we do it in the back.
That's
with a
cool.
picture of my raptors.
Paint your own not so terrible claw.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what kind of dinosaur is a Deinonychus?
Yeah, so Deinonychus, its name means a terrible claw.
Deinonychus Ross. I love Deinonychus Ross.
I do like the subtle insult of when you say a word and the other person says a completely different word.
Well, they got to say it the correct way.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's all good. Hey, it's all fun. It's a lot of times. Many dinosaur names, you pronounce them the way you want to pronounce them, and we all know what you're talking about. So it's all good all around. But Deinonychus is a dinosaur that we've known about since like the 60s. And this was the first one that let us see that dinosaurs were agile creatures, that they were warm-blooded, had hollow bones, had feathers on it. You know how when you eat flat wings, for example?
I love flats.
The flats are the best part, right?
Yeah.
And you get those little knobs every once in a while on the bottom?
Yes.
Those are ligament points, where the feathers on the wing were attached while the chicken was alive before the barbecue sauce showed up.
Oh, now I know what to tell my daughter. She was asking about this while she was eating the wings.
Yeah.
Because she's getting into eating bony stuff now.
Yeah.
And she'll ask me, she's like, this is from a chicken, right? Like, she's way, like...
You got to nibble the ligament points.
Yeah, she's hardcore.
Nibble the
No, but
ligaments.
she is hardcore about it, though. Like, even the stuff that she does is stuff that, like, makes me a little queasy. She took the flat and she rips it apart and she goes, break the bones! And I'm like, all right, there she goes.
That's what. Yeah, and so dinosaurs have those same ligament points. So Deinonychus and Velociraptor arms, we have found those same knobs on there. So we're like, no, these things actually had full-on feathers, like actual wings. They couldn't fly. They couldn't fly. They weren't powerful enough to fly the way we see birds today do it, but they had the groundwork for it.
How, like, I mean, this is kind of a silly question. Well, maybe not. So how big were these
Deinonychus was about 4.5 feet tall, about 9 feet long. I have a robot one that's living in my house right now.
Whoa. So, I mean, with the same, ligament points and everything, is it an assumption that the meat of this animal would have tasted similar to like a chicken?
I'm so excited that you asked that. Yes, because dinosaurs are birds. Dinosaurs are the ancestor of birds. Every bird today is a dinosaur.
So it's the world's ultimate chicken wing.
Yeah. And so because they moved around a lot, they were very active. So you'd have a lot of those like faster muscle, things like that. So it's really good. A T-Rex would be super gamey. Like they've actually done research on this because it's a slower moving animal.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Would it be gamey meat? Would it be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would it be? Oh man, that's crazy.
You gotta cook a T-Rex the way you would cook gator tail, right? Because that's going to be much tougher meat than that.
Sure.
But a Deinonychus or a Velociraptor, those are 5 different spices.
You could just roast them.
That's right.
Jimmy,
That's crazy.
I like it when someone finds out that like birds now are the ancestors to dinosaurs, and then dinosaurs just evolved into birds.
Right.
But I like it when the person that you tell that looks at a T-Rex or any sort of dinosaur like, no way.
No way.
And then never believes it, no matter what. Just because they don't understand
in
how
fact,
time
they reject
works.
it. They reject the knowledge fully.
They're just
100%.
like, they're like, no. and then not accepting reality or anything that is science, and just because it seems like, how does this T-Rex turn into...
It doesn't seem real.
1,000%.
A dove.
Right? I know.
Because they don't understand how evolution works.
You're absolutely right. So we actually took steps to take care of that. So I want you to come see me this weekend at the Science Center for the Prehistoric Party, because back when I used to work there, I made sure that we installed the skeleton of a chicken underneath the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So when you go into the Dino Digs exhibit on level 4, you'll see Stan the T-Rex looking down at you, and he's my favorite dinosaur. That's why he's always within arm's reach.
That's
right
so
here.
awesome.
So you can see Stan, and if you look right below him, there's the skeleton of a straight-up chicken. And you can see, oh, wait, the feet are the same, and that bone in the middle is the same, and the neck is the same, and what's going on? And then I'll come over and be like, hey, by the way, did you know that when a chicken is still in the egg, like 72 hours in, it's got like 35 tailbones like a T-Rex does? You're like, what do you mean?
It's got tailbones?
Yeah. When a chicken is when the egg is first laid, when the embryo is developing, it goes through these different stages where like it plays the old dinosaur programming before it kicks into chicken mode. And so there's a study out of Toronto, I think, where this guy named Lars, he's a super cool scientist. And
The
he's
drummer from Metallica.
That's right. Yeah. He was the master of puppets as well as chicken ontogeny. Yeah. And so he figured out, he stopped the development of the chicken at like 72 hours, and he just counted the bones. Like, there's like 35 tailbones in here. But when a chicken fully develops, those 35 fuse down to 7. And so a chicken's tail doesn't move. It's a thing we call a pygostyle. And it's just like a clump of bones that are all stuck together. And
Pygostyle. Pygostyle. Sorry.
But
this is what I do.
But
Still relevant.
But it still has like the genetic footprint of a dinosaur.
So
it goes through the transition.
So could we, at the 72-hour mark, hold it and then get it to continue becoming a dinosaur without venturing into the fusing of the 7? Can we get it to hold?
So, gentlemen, we spoke about this about 10 years ago, and I told you that the science on that was about 10 years away. And so about 2 weeks ago, there's a scientist named Jack Horner, who was one of the early big
Little
paleo
Jack
guys.
Horner, who was sitting in the corner?
That's right. He shoved in that plum.
Stuck in his plum.
And out of the thumb, he pulled the first evidence of dinosaur eggs and caring for the babies. But he's been working on a project for the last 10 years called the Chickenosaurus, where he's been doing exactly that. He's been trying to unlock certain, like those deep-seated, the deep B-side genes that have been dormant in these animals for millions of years, just to see if we could. And he whatever you say on Twitter now these days, he sent out, we're good. We reached the spot. We're getting ready to share some stuff here. But that's all he said about it. He's just super vague. But he's like, I think we reached the
delete
point.
my account.
All right, we've got a lot to talk about.
we
And
do.
we're going to have Jimmy back tomorrow
Yes, we are.
for a full Weird Job segment. But that is, the Orlando Science Center is doing their Paleontology
what a great
Party
tease, man. This guy's a super pro.
this weekend, December 16th and 17th. So we'll tell you more about it tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
But we'll see you then.
All right.
Sorry, John, we started.
We
had to
needed a
do it.
little 10-minute segment.
So Jimmy got
I got
here.
late.
We were like, we
You're
started talking Christmas ornaments, and so now we'll do a whole Weird Job segment because I got a million questions for you.
Oh, I got 1,000,001 answers for you,
All right,
too.
perfect.
I'm sorry, Jeff, I had to fill.
Tuesday 4.
Deciding what exhibits we're going to bring in for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Ran long, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm imagining that something like that can run long. Ooh, good Lord.
If you need any help picking animatronic dinosaurs, I know a guy who has a mobile museum here in Orlando.
I may give you a call.
All right, let's do it.
Because dinosaurs were on the agenda.
Fantastic. Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's definitely chat.
All right, let me change this camera so it's not crotch cam. Well,
that's
that's inappropriate. All right, there we go.
And is the time of year I bring you packages. So.
That's true.
Ew.
That is true. All right, way better. Okay.
Just glad to have them wrapped for a change.
Done. Mr. Van.
Yep.
You want to bring us back?
Yeah, this will be starting
starting,
for
yeah.
Wednesday.
Starting, yep.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Let's do some weird job because I
Okay.
can't wait to get into this.
And I'm not going to embarrass our guests, so
Yeah.
I'm going with the OG.
Let's do it.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday.
Still too long.
Oh yes, it's
so
Weird
long.
Job Wednesday.
You need a moment to feel.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by the Orlando Science Center and their Paleontology Party they're having this weekend, December 16th and 17th. And here to talk about that is Jimmy, a paleontologist.
Hey.
And also Jeff from the Orlando Science Center.
Hey. Good to see you guys.
How you guys doing?
Oh, it's a fantastic day. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful
appreciate-
Wednesday, and any day you get to talk about dinosaurs at length is always a good start.
All right,
Man,
so-
I love your energy.
Yeah, I know.
Dino, big dino energy, man.
And Jimmy, by the way, you can
Big
come
Dino
in
millionaire.
anytime you want because I love talking to you about
Yeah.
dinosaurs. So
I can't wait to make you regret that.
No, we're into it, man.
Theropod Thursday.
let's talk about
Feeding Fridays.
a paleontologist. So the only thing I know about dinosaurs I learned from Jurassic Park. Just like everybody.
Yes.
Around my
Barbasol
age.
can,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's all the secrets are in
Yeah.
the mosquito.
In
what is
the
it called?
amber.
The
Yeah.
amber.
Yeah, the
the
mosquito
amber
amber.
ball
Yeah.
that I make into a walking stick eventually.
Yeah.
You would think like
A walking
They
stick?
just let you make that into your novelty walking stick.
Yeah. What are you going to do with that? I'm making a walking stick.
So, what is a paleontologist to start with?
Fantastic. Paleontologist is anyone who studies ancient life. So you look at animals that used to live here, try to get an understanding of what the world used to be like, what was life like back then, what is life now, and where is life going from here on.
Is there a time limit? Like you're studying life from 30 years ago. It's not that like how long do you have to go back?
I mean, I
like
study
at least 100 years.
I study
totally.
the cast of Cheers every night. That's 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
You got to go back far, right?
Yeah, no, that's Cliffeontology, I think that what it is.
Yes, exactly.
So paleontology deals typically with creatures that lived a long time ago, and that's a good question as to where we actually draw that line for things. So typically you want creatures that are extinct and no longer really with us. If you're studying extant species, so things that are still around now, that's more in the form of a zoologist or a biologist. And there's a lot of intercollaboration between the groups because, people who study the things that are around now, we look at the way modern birds and animals move and how they interact with their environment. Those jobs that are out there in the world, the weird jobs of the animal kingdom, still existed 67 million years ago. So when we look at how animals lived today, we draw a lot of that toward how dinosaurs and other animals might have lived back then. So
Jimmy, let me run some facts by you that I tell my sons.
Yeah.
That I get from TikTok. I don't know if they're true or not, but I hear them on TikTok and then I remember them and then I tell my sons these things because I think they're science.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
good enough. Anyway, so
It's better than the things I naturally know that I can tell my daughter, right? That's the way I feel about it.
one fact is I tell my sons that I'm like, did you know that dinosaurs lived way longer than humans ever did? Like millions of years longer, and like humans have only been around for hundreds of
We're the
thousands
new
of
guys,
years.
yeah.
We're new comparatively, like such a small time frame that we've been here.
What is their reaction to that?
They are like disinterested usually.
Yeah.
Unimpressed by that fact that I learned on TikTok. But is that true?
They turned off when they said Dad was on TikTok. I watch all my TikToks 2 weeks later on Instagram like an adult. So yeah, that's actually a fact. So dinosaurs lived for such a long time here on Earth. They had about 140 million year span that they actually were the masters of this planet, starting back the earliest of their period. So they lived in an area called the Mesozoic era, which means the middle time. There's the Paleozoic before that, which is the old time, and we're currently in the Cenozoic, which is the new time. And so during the Mesozoic, that ran from the Triassic period to the Jurassic period and then to the Cretaceous. Triassic is when dinosaurs were all in like their beta mode. They all kind of looked the same. They had long necks, long tails, long arms. Some of them ate plants. Some of them ate each other.
The classics.
They were just trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And in the Jurassic, that's when they really started to get huge. So now you've got things like your Apatosaurus and your Allosaurus, the Stegosaurus with the big plates down its back. A lot of the ones that kids really know are out of the Jurassic period. And then we get into the Cretaceous. Now this is when the world is starting to get really crazy too. Flowers appear for the first time.
The flower for the first time?
Yeah.
How come that you're the first paleontologist or person that loves this type of science that has ever told me any of this in a very simple... Like, that was only 30 seconds, but you're telling me new stuff I didn't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
And you're not grumpy like the Jurassic Park.
Yeah, you're not grumpy at all. In fact, you're the opposite of grumpy.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid because, like, I want to be grumpy when I grow
No.
up just like that guy.
Was the old guy a paleontologist, or did he just have the money?
No, the young grumpy guy that ends up taking the kids on the adventure.
Gotcha.
He's
Yeah.
with
Grumpy.
and then he carries around a raptor claw and he scares the kids with it. And I was like,
Yeah.
I want to do that one day. Scare the kids with a
Carries
raptor
around
claw.
this one.
And then you're grumpy.
Oh, my
Okay.
God, he's got one.
Yeah. So this is actually a cast of the Velociraptor claw that was used in Jurassic Park. So this is actually from Stan Winston Studios.
No
And so
way.
yeah, totally, this is it.
Can I see it?
Sure. Oh my God. That's it.
So there's
That is a lot bigger and more scary than I would have imagined.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm imagining that just... Where would this be on the body?
So that would be on the
this,
movie
like this?
Velociraptor, that is the innermost toe. That's the big toe on the inside, and they would have a pair of those. Now the real Velociraptor was actually super teeny tiny.
Yeah, they're little guys, right?
They're really little guys.
Check that out.
Well, Jimmy, that's what I was going to ask you
Yeah.
of what some of the misinformation that we
Oh,
know from
Jurassic
movies
Park.
or from Jurassic Park. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to not wear a shirt and put that on a necklace. Dude,
Yeah,
I would
I want
respect
to.
you.
Like the guy from
I want to.
Jackass.
I would respect you if you did that.
I have to spray paint it gold though.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll get some leather.
Okay, well, one of the things I like to get a lot of the misconceptions out of the way is by asking a question back to you guys. So this is for all three of us.
Oh,
and
you
four
want
of
to
us
see
in
how
the room.
dumb we are? You wanna
No,
see
no. Question I ask of everybody I meet. What is your favorite dinosaur?
You mentioned it already. Stegosaurus.
Nice. Excellent choice.
I like the one that goes that has the big sort of that it shoots. It's a booger ball like Newman.
That's the Gunger Galunga. I don't know.
Yeah, and then it makes us crazy. and then it goes booger balls into the acid.
Yeah.
Booger ball dinosaur.
Right in Newman's face. And then he's
fun.
like, yeah.
You like the Newman Booger Ball.
Yeah.
What's that one called?
That one's called Dilophosaurus.
All right.
And that is an excellent example of
Yeah.
a misconception we've been dealing with the last 30 years.
Oh, no! That was my favorite one.
Do they at least have a booger ball?
No, so the reason that paleontologists are, first off, every major paleontologist working today owes a lot of their passion to Jurassic Park. Because that movie came out, and I was a kid. I saw the movie in the theaters. A lot of the paleos that I know who are publishing papers this week also saw this movie. They defined their lives around it because it showed us a world where the dinosaurs were real. It made the science approachable, and so people are like, "Wow, I want to do that." And when you get out and do it, that's when you find the things that people didn't otherwise know. So Dilophosaurus was awesome in Jurassic Park, but they did it so dirty. because it was a much bigger animal. It was an apex predator of its particular slice of the Jurassic where it lived. Dilophosaurus lived in 2 places in the United States. One, it lived in Connecticut. And the other one, and it also lived in like Nevada and Arizona and New Mexico.
Oh, a lot of turquoise.
Yeah.
Right?
Just beads everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of like Navajo stuff. Well, not like, but like the blankets.
Yeah, they live in their layer of a shiny fifth wheel on top of a pueblo.
Yeah, satellite dish.
Exactly.
Is that an effect where they wrote the movie where this thing was in the truck with Newman and then shot him with the booger ball, and then so they're just like, we'll just make it smaller to fit in the trunk. But
isn't
how
that
big
lazy? Like, aren't there dinosaurs that they could have put in there? Like, enough to be on site, and then if I'm like, why wouldn't I just come to him and say, hey, I need a little dinosaur that could hurt Newman in the truck. Give me something that's plausible.
No, totally. So in the book that Michael Crichton wrote, he included Dilophosaurus, and Dilophosaurus was the animal. And in the book of Jurassic Park is mind blowing. It's so gory. The death of Nedry Newman in that one is so much more visceral than what you see in the movie. But they also have Dilophosaurus like grabs him by the head and picks him up off the ground because it's the 11-foot tall apex predator that it truly was.
That's way better.
Yeah, right.
It's so the real Dilophosaurus
is
to
save
over
money.
11 feet tall.
Yeah.
And does it shoot a booger ball?
It does not.
Oh.
That we know.
Oh,
So
the fallacy of the booger ball.
no, it's okay.
We have to shut the show down now. Like you're
He's gonna go home so
this
sad
is like
today.
This is like a Santa Claus moment. I'm just gonna say that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do 80 dinosaurs shoot booger
Stop.
balls?
Look, the parents put all the booger balls under the tree.
You're ruining my dreams, Jimmy.
No. But see, the thing is, in the story, in Jurassic Park, they talk about how they didn't know what the DNA was going to turn out. Like they knew they put a sequence together. We're going to make something, and we're not sure how it's going to turn out. So they would just kind of grow things. And before they got to the frog DNA, they were mixing a whole bunch of stuff. So you have real animals like the frilled lizard, which also lives in the desert area where Dilophosaurus would have roamed. And when it gets startled, it does that neck thing. And so in the story, in the universe of Jurassic Park, they were blending in stuff from living animals to see what would work. Komodo dragons have, it's not so much a venom, but they have a really sinister bite. And when they bite into a prey animal, there's such a reaction to like bacteria and other gross stuff that the prey they want to chase goes for like 50 feet and then falls over, and then the dragon can come and get it when it wants to. So they combined those different kind of reptilian traits to make this really cool looking dinosaur that could also fit into the side of a Jeep.
So Jimmy, another thing that I got off TikTok is that
here we go.
there are certain dinosaurs that people thought existed because they put their bones together in a way that they wanted them to.
Yes.
Like,
that's like doing taxidermy wrong. That's like when you put a little can of beer in a raccoon's hand. It's not supposed to be there. You're playing God at that point.
And then apparently, like, there were some beloved like dinosaurs that never existed in the way that we thought they did. What are some of those?
I got 2 examples for you.
Okay.
One is a fantastic one that you can actually see in person at the Science Center this weekend. There's a creature called Elasmosaurus. This is a marine reptile. So it's not a dinosaur. That's another thing. There weren't really any dinosaurs that swam, and there weren't really any dinosaurs that flew. So like when you think of the pteranodon with the big wing thing, not a dinosaur.
Did they drown a lot?
A few did. We have found a lot of the fossils that we find that are really in good condition are dinosaurs that got too close to a cliff and fell over and couldn't get back.
No dinosaur ISR either out there.
But a pterodactyl, was it real?
No, pterodactyl is a real animal.
Oh.
A real pterodactyl is like, it fits in the palm of your hand.
Oh my God.
It's like a mouse.
I want to own one.
No, they're super adorable. They're also reptiles and not dinosaurs. So they're closer related to things like, alligators and lizards. And
so they're like a flying lizard.
Correct.
Okay.
The same way that a bat is a flying mammal and not a bird.
Yep.
Pterosaurs are flying reptiles and not dinosaurs.
So
You're blowing my mind
Did
today.
they only make
Everything I've ever known is not true.
Yeah, he is turning a lot of things upside down today. But that just shows you that.
But I'm spotting you while I do it.
He is. It's a trust fall scenario.
This is why you got to go to this paleontology party.
Well,
Get the real information.
This is what will open up, I think, your family or your child's mind to it. Is once they realize the Hollywood stuff is kind of BS.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, not
let's get
all
the,
of it,
not all of
no.
it, but let's
Yeah.
get the real stuff. You know, like
Yeah, exactly. So the Elasmosaurus, for example, when you walk into Dino Digs, you'll see this thing. It's one of the first things that you look at. It's got a huge long neck, and it's got these big paddle.
I've seen
seen
it before,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so when the guy who first discovered that was during a period called the Bone Wars. There were these two dudes who absolutely hated each other. Their names were E.D. Cope, Edward Drinker Cope, and O.C. Marsh, Othniel Charles Marsh. These two were like, I got to get as many things out of the ground as I can find. I want to name as many dinosaurs and creatures as I can. And so they were just in constant competition with each other
like
during
the
the
Bone
1860s.
Rush or something.
That's exactly what it is.
It's called the Bone Wars.
This is that time. And so they, one of the creatures that was found, Cope found a creature that he dug all the bones out, and he's like, oh, this thing is amazing. It's got this huge 24-foot long tail, and it's got this like 7-foot long neck, and I can't wait to show this. I'm going to call it Elasmosaurus. And then Marsh looks at it, and he's like, bro, you know you put the head on the wrong end, right? This guy doesn't realize he put the head on the wrong end. Hey, everybody, the head's on the wrong end. And so they just lit him up over making that kind of mistake. So now when you see it at the Science Center, you'll see it in the proper orientation where it's got a very long neck so they could swim through shallow shoals and catch little groups of fish and without them seeing this huge barrel body coming to them. And so that's one example where we figured out there was a mistake and they just lit the guy up over it.
Gotcha. Was there ever any, like, I also heard like the Brontosaurus
Yeah.
and stuff didn't look exactly like we thought it always had.
I've got some fantastic news for you on
All
that
right.
one.
Okay.
So, yes, and that's a situation where Marsh, the guy we're talking about, discovered the Apatosaurus and the Brontosaurus. And he's like, oh, these bones, I'm going to call this thing Apatosaurus because those bones look kind of deceptive to me. This big leg bone over here, I'm going to call this the Brontosaurus because this thing would have stomped like thunder. That's my thunder lizard. And so it was a little while after that, they're like, hey, I think these actually come from the same animal. So, yeah, we got to pick one. And in the scientific naming rules, whichever creature gets named first, that's the name that sticks. So Brontosaurus went away for a while.
Okay.
In 2014, a friend of mine named Dr. Emmanuel Chop did a huge study. He studied like 300 pages. He looked at every piece of long necks, like sauropods, we call those things, every piece of sauropod material that belonged to Apatosaurus or Brontosaurus. And he's like, okay, there are some differences. Not only are they different, but we've got 3 separate species of Apatosaurus and 2 massive species of Brontosaurus. So Bronto is back. And if you loved it before, you can still love it now.
Baby.
And I'm actually going to
Bronto's
have...
All right.
Bow. Don't call it for comeback. I've been here for years.
I love it, yeah.
And so I'm actually going to have a baby Apatosaurus with me this weekend at the Science Center. We're going to be doing a couple of guest story times. We're going to read some dinosaur books. I'm going to have my baby Apatosaurus come out and meet everybody. So you can actually see a real live Apatosaurus this weekend. It's going to be amazing. His name is Ajax, which is also the species name of Apatosaurus.
That's
Apatosaurus
cool, man.
Are you also a ventriloquist?
Are you also one of them?
I imagine you bring out your Apatosaurus and these just start talking.
How's your day going, Apatosaurus?
I'm going to drink this water real quick, and Jeff's going to sing a song.
So Jimmy,
Yeah.
so let's go back to actually recovering the fossils, right?
Yes.
So, like, from Jurassic Park, we get the image of a paleontologist in the desert, and they got a white tent up, and then they've got some fossil that they're sweeping off. They're always
have
sweeping
one of those
Yeah,
brushes.
just it,
Yeah.
yeah.
They have one of
Like
those
a makeup
brushes.
brush.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the ones that I see bros use on their BMW console. They're brushing out the dust from like where they're
and
like
they're-
where their electric windows for their car.
Yeah, they're barely brushing it with like a makeup brush, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this thing is a 10 million year old stone.
Yeah.
Why are you being so delicate with it?
Well, I think you have to.
So
Absolutely.
How many brushes do you have to do? Is he doing that for days?
So is that all based on actual things that paleontologists do, or
Yeah.
is it they just use that for the movies too?
No. So I actually led a couple of digs this past year. I did a dig in Texas where we're getting into some of the Permian period, which is the time period before the dinosaurs. And then I did a number of digs in actual Jurassic soil in Wyoming. And when we were taking those dig tours out, I would put a toolkit in everybody's hand. It's like, here you go. Here's a bucket. Here's a slightly smaller bucket. Here is a dollar store whisk brush. Here's another little chip brush as well. And then the piece de la resistance, it's an oyster knife.
An oyster knife.
An oyster knife, a little blunt edge oyster knife, because you're going out there. Because we find a couple of places, and we find some of the bones, and you're absolutely right. They have been in the ground for the Jurassic stuff's been there for 140 million years. Wow. The Cretaceous stuff's been there for 67 million years. The Permian things are looking at 251 million years. It's been sitting there in the ground until we schmucks come along and start poking at it. And so
with an oyster shuck.
Yeah. And so it's been protected from the environment, from erosion, because of all the rock on top of it. But now that we're taking that stuff off, it's getting exposed to oxygen, and if it rains, for God's sake, all that sort of stuff. So we're very gentle at getting the overburden. We call that stuff matrix because it's the rock that wasn't alive. The fossils are the rock that were alive. And so we try to get those out as best we can. And then once we get the bones out of the rock, we take everything into a prep lab, and now we get to get the rock back out of the bones.
And then it's meticulous.
Yeah, very much so.
How long does that take, like let's say an average size dinosaur fossil from in ground to fully, I guess, complete, which is all the other rock off of it? What's the process? How long?
There was a study that was released 2 days ago, or just a couple days ago, about a Gorgosaurus. It's a Canadian cousin of Tyrannosaurus Rex, about 11 feet tall, really cool, like
super
eye piercings.
polite.
Yeah, very much so.
Right, like really nice.
It's hard to measure how big this one because you got to use a metric. But they found this thing with like stomach contents. So we knew that this Tyrannosaur was growing up, it changed its diet. And like sometimes I just want chicken nuggets. And it's like, well, you can't have chicken nuggets right now. We're having fettuccine. And so like you would see the changes in the diet on it. That specimen's been worked on with a preparation process for the last 5 years.
Wow.
Because you got to move little bits of dirt, little bits of rock at a time to get to something that looks more like this. So here, I brought a couple
Can
of...
I hold that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay, I feel weird about like...
How do you go about finding the places to dig?
You know what's wonderful is that a lot of the major discoveries are done by amateurs first. So people who go out on like volunteer fossil digs.
It smells cool.
There are some museums around the world.
Do they just go to places that have already had fossils found?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's gotten a lot easier with modern technology because you can go on Google Maps right now and you hit that terrain button and you can see the erosion in the mountain ranges. You can see where places used to be lakes and rivers. Mm-hmm. Water is such a vital component of fossilizing things that if you can't find that, like that's one of the first things you find. What used to be a lake? And then you start looking around and you see changes in like the color of things. You can start to spot things where there's a difference between the texture of a bone versus the texture of a rock. So that piece that you're holding right there is the tailbone of a triceratops.
Whoa,
really?
I've held the tailbone. It smells old too, doesn't it?
Smells like an old house.
It
What
does.
is that?
Yeah.
Well, because it came from the villages. But
Get him, Jimmy.
No, he's smart and funny.
bring it up.
Yeah.
So that is part of the tailbone of a triceratops. So that came from the Lance Formation, so a specific area of Montana
that is
that
dense
used to be
too, man. Like it is thick boy heavy.
So take a look at this part. This is a slice of a dinosaur bone, and when the dinosaurs were alive, their bones were a lot lighter. Right. So this is on the inside, and the parts that are black are the actual replaced pieces of the dinosaur bone, and the little light brown pieces in the middle are extra matrix. So when a dinosaur bone fossilizes, it's the same as a regular decay process. So like the skin, the muscles, all the integument stuff, that all goes away pretty quickly. In many cases, sometimes it sticks around.
That's crazy.
The bones decay one cell at a time over a long period of time. And when they do that, they create a little vacuum. And that vacuum pulls in liquid sediments, and so it fills in those gaps. So the bones that come out of the ground are a lot more brittle and a lot heavier than they would have been when the animal was alive.
Because they're absorbing whatever
They soak it all up.
Do different substances address or affect the bones differently?
Yes.
Yeah, so
yes,
are there
do.
some that you're like, oh, yes, this one was in clay, yes, or this one was in, I don't know,
100%.
Like sulfur, it was terrible, or...
And that's why when you're digging in Wyoming, in a place, the area is called the Morrison Formation.
Okay.
Because it goes from around Red Rocks out to areas where all this is the same time dirt. You're walking on the surface here, and that is surface dirt from the Jurassic period. The stone out there is a lot of stuff called mudstone. So you can actually break it apart and it just crumbles in your hand. And so that's why the oyster knives come in handy, because I can easily pop off little pieces of the stuff that shouldn't be there, and it doesn't damage the bones underneath so much.
Jimmy, have we found all the fossils for every dinosaur that ever existed?
Not a chance.
Okay.
No way. And we're finding more and more every day. And we keep, if you keep an eye out for like things on like the paleontology Reddit and stuff like that, or you'll see new studies that come out, or you follow me on Instagram at Dinosaur Podcast, you can find all these different places where you'll see new studies that come through, and you can find out how we're very close to discovering new things all the time because we're building off of what we've already learned. Now, I've got this tattoo of Stan the T-Rex.
Yeah.
This is the Tyrannosaurus that you can see at the Science Center. And on my tattoo, I found an artist who was a paleo artist first and a tattoo artist second. And so the bones that are shaded in are the ones that we've recovered, and the bones that are just outlined we haven't found yet.
I'd assume that we had found all the bones to a T-Rex.
We know of the bones, we just maybe haven't recovered all of them.
A lot of the bones that don't fall into those perfect fossilization conditions don't show up, or they get picked off by scavengers, or they get eaten. Believe it or not, that Triceratops might have eaten a bunch of bones that we were looking for, because when they get ready to lay eggs, they got to get calcium from someplace. They can't go down to a CVS and get calcium supplements, so they got to eat dried bones to help build their eggshells up.
Oh, mama dinosaur grinding the bones up.
What part of the world has the most dinosaur fossils?
Oh, that's a good one.
He specializes in good ones.
Yeah. They call me Good One Tommy. I don't know if you do that, Jimmy.
No one's ever said that. But it might stick. It might stick. I like it.
There's we find a lot of. Okay, so certain dinosaurs only lived in different parts of the world. The world looked a lot different than it does now. So you want to find creatures like...
What? I also like being surprised by...
like this most simple facts.
Yeah. So when you find things like Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, Stegosaurus, those are all North American creatures. You'll find relatives of them around Europe and things like that. Right now, a lot of fossils are coming out of China and Mongolia. Because every place also, like, they treat their fossils different from a legal perspective. So depending on where you are, this is either a fossilized piece of treasure or it's a piece of real estate.
Yes, don't some countries ask for their stuff back, too?
China
right?
wants their stuff back. You can take it out of the country for a little while for a museum, but it's got to come back and touch home plate every couple of years.
Can I see
so
this guy?
This is actually from Morocco. So this is the tooth of a mosasaur.
And that's not is that a recasting or is that the real deal?
That's the real deal. So the tooth on top is 100% real. And the jawbone portion you see there, now a lot of times when Moroccan fossil dealers are putting stuff together, they like stuff to make it look good, so they doctor it up a little bit.
There's Moroccan fossil dealers?
Oh, so many.
I'm going to start telling people I am a Moroccan fossil dealer. By the way, this is actually, I can see why this, like, I could see somebody putting this in their house.
Yeah.
So, it's very pretty. You know, it's feel heavy again. All of these things are a lot more dense than I think. And also in understanding the process of the millions of years of absorption, and that's crazy, man.
Well, speaking of Moroccan fossil dealers, that opens up a whole nother bunch of questions of how much are certain fossils worth, and is there a black market for fossils, and is there some some super rich sheik out there that has
gotta be a sheik.
No, I'm just saying that has some complete. Like a bunch of fossils that would be better off.
Don't talk with your hands.
I'm sorry, I'm
dropping. It's scaring me.
How much
don't mess up his fossils, man.
Throw into the drop ceiling.
So I wish I could say no. I wish I could say no to that question. And there are a lot of it's a major question in the paleo community right now because Stan, my T-Rex here, the same T-Rex you'll see at the Science Center.
Yeah,
that's a replica, because the original Stan bones were sold at a big auction a few years ago, and now Stan is getting a museum built around him in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
But even then, like you saw here, not all the bones that are in Stan are the actual original bones. So a lot of it's still reconstruction too. And the problem is that when you have a big auction like that going, like Sue sold for $8.5 million. Stan went for like $30.2 million.
Wow!
All of a sudden
Holy crap! Stan was a $30 million dinosaur.
Yeah, it took a long time to recover off of that. I actually did a GoFundMe to try and get it for a museum. And
how much did you get, Jimmy?
Oh, the $475, which I refunded to everyone altogether. Immediately, it's like you're getting every penny back.
But you're like not even close.
No, but I couldn't sit by and do nothing, you know, because that specimen meant a lot to me. Like, if it wasn't for Stan, it wasn't for the Science Center, I wouldn't be a paleontologist now.
That's crazy cool, man.
Because I started working there years and years ago as part of the education team. And then I was like, oh, this is a cool place. Let me take a look around. And then I saw a dinosaur exhibit. And I'm like, oh, I have to be part of this. A couple of years later, Jeff and the rest of the team were kind enough to say, you know what, why don't you run the exhibit for a little while? So I got to actually.
What a great story, man.
What about like smaller, like I'm sure, like, speaking of Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
like raptor claws,
Yes.
like there's real ones out there, and I'm sure they've skyrocketed in value after Jurassic Park, right?
So yeah, a lot of dinosaur names, you can find some cool things, and people will attach a cool a price tag to it. In places in Montana, a lot of the places that do like for-profit digs, when they find a T-Rex tooth, they call those mortgage payments, because you can throw the name T-Rex on a tooth that's half the size of the one I handed to Daniel, and like people will say, oh, that's like a $3,000 tooth right there. Meanwhile, what you were just looking at there was the tooth of a Spinosaurus, which is another famous predator that people really love. Yeah, right there.
This one right here.
That's
I've
a
got it on the
Spinosaurus
camera
tooth.
so you can. I mean, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Have these been polished, or is this just the way it is? You just clean them up, and that's because they're really pretty.
Yes.
One of the things I noticed is that the color of the real
enamel.
fossils, they're really pretty.
Some things still stick around. Some things still preserve in such a beautiful way that you can actually see a lot of that.
That's
a lot
neat.
of it does come to the way that we prepare things, though. So in the preparation lab, we prep with a purpose. Sometimes we're preparing for things to go into studies so we can actually learn more about them, and then we don't go so far. There's another dinosaur. There was a big one from the Jurassic Park series lately. So like in Jurassic World and in Camp Cretaceous, they had a Carnotaurus. If you go on Disney's dinosaur ride, it's the big thing that you see up front there, the Carnotaurus right there with the big horns. We had a gorgeous skull of a Carnotaurus with the skin impressions on the outside of its face. And
Really?
scientists were like, I got to tell somebody, this is a face right here. I got to go talk about it. And while they're out doing that, a very enthusiastic prep volunteer came in and was like, well, these bones aren't clean, and took it all off.
Oh,
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask it because I could totally see you and I coming to the dig to help out and ruining everything.
I'm like, scrub them white.
You're bleaching them.
Bleach them good.
They need it. In my mind, they're cartoon white.
Well, the first thing I do is I
Like
call
an
our
egg.
buddies at Firehouse Pressure Washer. I'm like, blow it all out of here.
So Jimmy, now
It does happen. Yeah.
I gotta ask you the
that's
quintessential
heartbreaking.
question that I've always wondered since Jurassic Park. Okay, so
Is this a poo-poo joke?
no, is the I gotta hear the phone. Is the possibility of finding DNA from a dinosaur first? Have we found that? And if we have, could you somehow, like they did in Jurassic Park, splice it with some other DNA and then create an actual living dinosaur?
So a couple of fun answers on that one.
Okay.
Goes back to the way that we prepare things. So if we're preparing for genetic research, we don't do much with the fossil. We try to have as little impact on it as possible because we want everything to still be
Makes
what it was there.
sense, yeah.
So we don't use any chemicals. There's
Like
no
a
whole
crime scene at that point.
Exactly. We got to
Yeah.
keep it sterile, but we can't sterilize it, And so there's an entire field called paleogenomics that came after Jurassic Park. Because we're like, there might be something to this, so now we start studying for
It's
DNA.
like Space Force. It's like there might be something to it. We gotta have it, right? It's not a dig. I'm just saying. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Better than I think I am.
And so we have found genetic material from many different kinds of dinosaurs. We found a few things where we have stomach contents intact. We find skin and ligaments and all kinds of fun things. We got a dinosaur up in Canada called Borealopelta that looks like it's just asleep. Like the entire dinosaur is there. And then
like been preserved in the permafrost or somewhere, something like
it was
that.
one of the ones that fell. It was munching its way through a forest fire. And so we know that its guts had like we found some ferns and we found some different plant matter, and a lot of the bark that it had been chewing on had charcoal on it because it was scavenging through a forest fire looking for something to eat.
Like that
And then
smoky barbecue.
Yeah. And then it fell into a lake and it couldn't get itself back out because one of those big armor guys. And then it just fell asleep, and it's been like that for 100 million years. But no, so we do find genetic information in some cases, but to sort it all out, DNA is not an easy thing to put together. So like picture the longest book you can imagine, right? Like
that's Tom's arch enemy. He's literally like,
at the end of my movie, I fight the longest book, and it does kill me.
It's a terrifying story.
It's a thesaurus. No, so like take a Harry Potter book or something that's like 1,000+ pages.
Yeah.
Now, take out all of the capitalization and all the spaces and all the punctuation marks.
It makes it easier for Tom to read.
and just cut everything down. So like you remove all the things that separate the words and stuff out and just reduce it down to just the vowels. Now tell me a story. So when we look at the DNA, 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we could tell that there was a paragraph here. We could tell that there was some genetic information. We weren't quite sure how to read it. Now we can start to make out certain sentences, but we still need more work on the technology before we can start to articulate the words and figure out the language of things. And only at that point will we be able to start bringing animals like a dinosaur back. The DNA is also so old, a lot of the pieces of it have just decayed away naturally because of how DNA works. But we have found things like woolly mammoths. And there's a company called Colossal that's working on bringing back like the dodo and the thylacine, which is a Tasmanian tiger, because we have samples of these animals because they went extinct in the last 10,000 years or so with the mammoths. And so there's room where we can patch up some of that DNA there. But some of the dinosaurs that we have found DNA, or not DNA specifically, but genetic information from are things like a Hypacrosaurus, which is a big duck-billed dinosaur. So it's like a plant eater and walks around on all fours. And then we had a leg of a Tyrannosaurus Rex that we had to break in half one time. And there was some spongy stuff on the inside there. Dr. Mary Schweitzer and Jennifer Whitmire looked at it under a microscope, and they saw, well, this is very spongy, and there seems to be dried blood inside. So I'm going to tell no one. No, they told everybody about it. So, yeah, we actually have some spongy material, and it looks like preserved collagen from a Tyrannosaurus Rex as well.
Wow.
So the chat room is asking, I was going to ask you this too,
Yeah.
if AI in any way, I know it's a buzz term, people throw it around. For right now, all I can use it to do is to draw naughty pictures and maybe help with our show notes. But is there real world applications to AI in what you do in like maybe categorizing, in research in any way, shape, or form?
So with AI, you learn a lot of new things. It's an extension of how the researchers are currently using it. And so, I mean, if there's a Roar GPT out there that they can start to use to kind of figure out how certain bones analog with each other. So like, right now we look at things and we say, well, this looks a lot like this one, but it's different enough that I'm not quite sure. And so we have to classify them using our current methods. Using AI technology, there's probably something that we can do with it right now. I don't know that there's been a lot of work in applying it to paleo specifically.
Gotcha.
So we'd be interested to see you going forward.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I could talk to you all day. I got a couple more questions. How
chat room, by the way, loves you. You're one of my favorite guests we've ever
we'll
had.
bring you
Thank you so much.
Weekend.
Thank you. Go see him. Go pick his brains. Say hi. See all the stuff. Support your local science center.
Absolutely.
We love these guys.
And before I waste your time with like 5 other dumb questions, but let's talk about the event at the Orlando Science
You're
Center.
my favorite Jimmy. I'm just going to say that. It's going to hurt Jim Colbert. That's going to hurt Jim Colbert. I just saw him yesterday. Good friend of mine. But you're my favorite
Jim
Jimmy.
Colbert is my 20th favorite.
He is a dinosaur.
Oh my God!
So
that was
Jeff,
the other members of my show.
So
Jimmy.
Jeff, what else is going on at this paleontology weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend at Orlando Science Center. And before I get started, I got to say, like Jimmy's like Dino Elvis, and I'm like Colonel Tom Parker. I just sit here and tell him where to go.
Yeah, that's all right.
But no, it's going to be a great weekend, all day Saturday and Sunday this weekend. We're going to have a number of different partners, different paleontology groups out. We've got some cool shows. Savannah from Gatorland's going to be out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Some baby crocodiles, baby alligators. Talk about how alligator ecosystems were similar to dino ecosystems. Mm-hmm. We got some cool movies. We got a Dinosaurs of Antarctica movie that's going to play in the giant screen Cinedome.
Nice.
So we've got different paleontology presentations. So it is all dinos all weekend, and you can cap that off with the Dinos and Lights holiday show. We wrap some of the dinosaurs and holiday lights, not necessarily scientifically accurate, but very seasonally appropriate.
Yeah. If you got
so it's going to be a great weekend. Jimmy's
cool
going to
thing
be
to say,
here on Saturday doing dinosaur story times, and he's going to be there on Sunday sharing all kinds of dino coolness.
I love it, man.
And so, Jimmy, do you accept the theory about how dinosaurs became extinct? Because I know that there is like it's not set in stone where this is a theory that everybody.
Are there some people that say, nah, that's not my.
Well, some people are saying like
that's not my extinction.
Some people are like,
some people say that.
Is it like yes, a meteor hit, but that the super volcanoes were really got them, and then people were thinking, oh, the meteor hit and eventually killed them all. They're like, no, this happened over hundreds of thousands of years it took for them all.
That is a question that I have. Is that like I think you bring up something really interesting.
Absolutely.
I think Joe Average thinks meteor comes in, boom, all dead instantly. And how did it go down for Joe Average in his car right now putting along? The short of the long is
it's amazing. First off, take a moment and Google the word Chicxulub.
Chicxulub. Is this going to get us into trouble, Jimmy? Yeah, because like you could be saying anything at this point. Like that can literally, I don't know what that means.
So the name of the impacting the asteroid that hit the Earth at the end of the Cretaceous period and killed off the dinosaurs is called Chicxulub. That's CHICXULUB.
I go to a website called Chicks I Love,
which
is completely inappropriate.
But if you Google it, there's something really cool that happens. So I urge you to take a chance and do that.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was a combination of things at any given time. The extinction of the dinosaurs wasn't, hey, we're here on, Weird Job Wednesday, and then everybody's dead on Thirsty Thursday. It was the kind of thing where like it happened over a long period of time, because once the impact happened, and we actually figured out exactly when the impact happened.
Really?
Yeah, like 2 years ago, there's a fantastic scientist. Her name's Melanie During. She's from Europe. She's got this awesome pink hair. She's the coolest person. Just published a book. And
it does make a difference when they look cooler, right?
Yeah, no, they have to be.
Like if they look like a nerd, I'm like, you got to sell it a little more.
Yeah, no. So with Melanie with the pink hair, and then Jing May O'Connor, the punk rock paleontologist up in Chicago, the coolest people. And so she found this site in North Dakota called Tanis, and there were these fish and there were these dinosaur fossils that were just weirdly, like, they had all these pieces of stuff in them that wasn't supposed to be there. It's like, where is this glass coming from? And when you look back at the Chicxulub impact, which is at the north coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, and so that's where the place hit. And when a meteor the size of Mount Everest collides with the Earth, it creates such a massive boom. It also liquefies the surface soils and things like that. So it makes all this liquid rock, otherwise known as lava. And when you melt down sand and things like that, that's how you make glass. So it melts all this stuff and it shoots it up into the atmosphere, and it goes circulating around the world. Then those hot liquid pieces of glass have to come down at some point, right? So in the Tanis site in North Dakota,
it was raining glass on the fish.
It was raining glass on the fish. There's shrapnel in the gills. There are dinosaur legs, like lit up with just all kinds of like glassy bullets. And like, where did this come from? How is this possible? And we realized, oh, this is from The Hour.
That's the movie I want to see. I want to see the glass bullets killing the dinosaurs.
Exactly. And so we figured out, because of the kinds of fish and because of the kind of plants and the things that were in this lake at that time, the Tanis site, we know that the impact of the asteroid that killed off the dinosaurs and set the whole extinction into process was in the spring of that particular year. And now we say 66 million years ago instead of 65.
You just melted the chat room because like everybody's like, wow. Yeah. Have you ever heard about the glass from the sky?
No, but there's so much to learn.
Go see Jimmy.
Yes.
Go to the Orlando Science Center this weekend, December 16th and 17th.
And thank you, Jeff, for always bringing in your friends.
Guests.
You have the coolest friends, man. Like always fun when you bring in these folks.
Thank you.
Also, if
Colonel
you want to
Tom
hear
Parker of the Science.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, it's fun. It's working, man.
If you want to hear Jimmy talk more, you have your own podcast, right?
That's right. Yes, I do. So my show is called Dinosaurs Will Always Be Awesome. It's a fact. It's also a mobile museum. So I bring my real and replica fossils out to communities and places that don't have access to wonderful museums like Orlando Science Center. So if you're in a place that's further out, then you can't quite get to things. I load up my Apatosaurus femur. I load up all these cool things I showed you here, my T-Rex brain, all this kind of stuff. And I bring it out to you with a robot Deinonychus named Poe and my life-size baby dinosaur Ajax. It's a nonprofit organization I started about 5 years ago because after I stopped working at the Science Center, I couldn't turn this off. And so I've just been in love with this ever since. So I interview scientists and researchers from around the world. we share the story, and I try to make it fun and
when
approachable for everyone.
Yeah, sorry, Jimmy, but I'm going to cut you off.
Cut
But
me
when
off
I see
again.
people like Jimmy doing
I know,
things, and I look at what we do, and I'm
I
like,
wish I loved something as much as Jimmy loves bones.
I know. I don't even love my family as much as he loves bones. Like seriously, like I'm sitting here trying to get motivated for Christmas with my family, and I'm more excited about the glass falling from the sky. Well, unbelievable, man. Hey, thank you again. Very nice to meet you again, because we've met him before.
I know, and we're gonna get you back on the show,
Please.
Jimmy.
Well, I mean, if he wants
if
to.
if you want to come back,
Yeah.
because there's so much more we could talk about dinosaurs. We got to do like Bones
Well,
Wednesday.
maybe we
It's a
could
pleasure.
set up a time where we could, maybe if we for a donation to what he does, maybe he'd do a thing for our listeners to bring their kids and see what he does.
Oh yeah, like
I would
maybe
love nothing more.
You come out to like Hourglass Brewery, or then
Well, first you come out on, you come to the
Let's see what the
Science
Science
Center.
Center first.
Yeah,
No,
let's
no,
do that
no.
one first. But I'm just saying,
No, I'm not trying to undercut you, Jeff. Here.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Hourglass Brewery.
Loyalty means
This
nothing
week-
to you.
We'll see you someday.
Right after Jimmy gets off the Science Center, he'll be at the brewery
For the after party.
Half the price.
That's how rappers do it. They're like Rick Ross is at the Amway, and don't forget, the after party is at Tier Nightclub.
OSC.org for all the information.
Yeah, man.
Jimmy, Jeff, thanks so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And we'll be right back.
I thought you said we were saying their name is Jimmy Jeff.
Jimmy Jeff.
I thought you called him Jimmy Jeff. And I was like, uh-oh. Okay. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. That was, are we
fantastic.
done?
Yeah, I just need an intro for tonight, and then you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I do got to get
Oh,
out of here.
yeah.
Okay. We might have to actually use